Unmute. Microphone check. Anybody here? You can hear me. Let me make sure my audio is good. Microphone check. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Buff Nation, what up? BWB, my bandwagon buffs. What it is, what it does, and what it's gonna be. It's your man's Harry Billion. Welcome to the Liberian Perspective. Family, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up, guys. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as I upload it to YouTube. But that's all the business I got, family. Let's go ahead and get into this live. Let's work. You know what time it is, guys. We got to get to work. If you are here, you can hear me. The audio is good. Please let me know. Go ahead and put that in the comments for me. Anybody watching, I know you guys are at work. I am streaming New York City time, 12 o'clock. It is 12:05 right now. So the time, most of you are at lunch if you are on the East Coast. So you are joining me on your lunch break. Whatever bologna sandwiches you got, or if you're African, you got that big bowl of whatever you got. All right. What's good, love? We here, team and Coach Prime. Andre, audio's good. You can hear me? I went back to my Logitech. I went back to my my Yeti microphone. Just let me know real quick you can hear me so I can go on. We got some work to do. You can hear me? Just type in there. You can hear me, guys. Caleb, I'm going to get into that. Just type in there. You can hear me. Okay. All right, Janet Fox. All right. Somebody says unsubscribing to this clown. We just getting started. Don't know what that means. All right, so you can hear me. Let's go. So everywhere we're hearing it's over. Okay. So we're hearing it's over. It's over. I want to talk about expectations today. I want to talk about I don't know what people thought this team was going to be. I want to talk about the process, and I also want to talk about people's expectations, because something's not making sense to me. Something is not making sense. I want to understand where what is his name? Feinball. I want to understand where he's coming from as far as he's saying it's over. Like the Deion Sanders experiment is over. So I want to understand where that comes from. You mad bots, I guess you don't understand. You don't know this channel, so it's a question mark, Caleb. There's a question mark. The Deion Sanders experiment is over. That's a question mark. I'm a supporter of Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. So I'm hearing that it's over, but I wanted to talk about that. And I was contemplating on making a video and showing evidence because I follow this team very closely. I follow this team so close that I've traveled to Boulder. I've traveled to Texas. I don't know if people really understand what is going on. I think there's a few dynamics that's going on. I'm gonna have to put my fan on because it's kind of hot. Put my air conditioner on, guys. Give me a second. It's a little bit hot, so let me put that air on before I start sweating out my shirt. Andre Harris, what up? Caleb, what up? Janet Fox, what up? So, no. I'm not worried about the haters. It's not necessarily just haters that I'm worried about. I want to understand that because there are expectations that are set by us, there are expectations that are set by the media. And Baltimore, what's up? There's a lot of expectations for this team, but I want to understand. I want to know if people really understand the expectations that Coach Prime has. Bad title. That's not a bad title. That's your opinion. That's not a bad title, because that's exactly what I want to talk about. So it's not a bad title. Relax. Just enjoy the show. You mad. Don't be mad. So I want people to understand the idea of building. I don't know that people understand that this team has to be built. We got to start with the transfer portal. The transfer portal was put there so that you can be able to bring in players that want to move from within the system. Players and students that want to be able to go from their school and have an easier way for them to do that transaction. That's what the transfer portal is for. So we had to go into the transfer portal to grab some players. You in Brooklyn? We'll talk later. But the whole idea of the transfer portal is so that you can get players that want to leave their school, and other players that want to leave their school, and coaches that want to get new players to do whatever they need to do to replenish their roster. That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea of the transfer portal. So Coach Prime had to go get players from the transfer portal because he had no team. All right. When you get players from the transfer portal, you have to understand you're not getting the best players that are available in college football. We got to break this down so that the layman can understand. People got to understand what is going on in the bigger scheme of things. So I did a video and I told you guys about the process that Deion Sanders and his staff, Coach Prime and his staff, are using to recruit. I believe it's the 40-40-20 system. You get 40% graduate student, you get another 40% undergrad, and then you get 20% freshman. So when you do that, so in that process, you're basically trying to say, okay, I want some veterans, some players that already know how to play football. Everybody already know how to play football, right? But you want to get some experience in that locker room. You want to get 40% of experience in that locker room. And you want to make sure that there's 40% that is the undergrad. Those people already know the college system. And then the freshmen that are coming in are going to be now mentored by everybody else. So that system is what Coach Prime is using to recruit. You don't get the top players in that transfer portal. They're not always going to be the top players. You're going to get some really good players in the transfer portal, but not the very top players. The reason why Coach Prime was able to get some top players in that transfer portal, like the quarterback, Shador, and Travis Hunter, is because he brought those people in. Those are people that he was bringing in from Jackson State. So that's why he was able to get those players from the transfer portal. So the expectations that everybody had from how this team is supposed to perform and everything is over. How in the world can it be over when we are in the bye week? It's the expectations that everybody is setting. It's like, because you have these weird expectations, everybody from ESPN and all of the talking heads, it was a ticking time bomb. And I'm like, you have to understand that this is going to take time to work out. He got some really good players. And the players that he got, some of them were not receiving playing time on their team. So they decided to jump into that transfer portal. And for whatever reason, some of them were not communicating well with the people with the leadership that they had. So he did the best he could to bring in some of these kids. And then he still has a lot of the kids that are from the other recruiting class. I'm trying to set this up so people can have the understanding to know that the transfer portal is your biggest tool for recruiting, because usually, for the most part, when you bring high school students in, those high school students, some are going to transfer over their skills. They're going to be mature enough to ready, and they're going to be ready to go. But not all of them are going to be. As you can see right now in Cormani McLean, Dylan Edwards, and I believe with number 6 or number 14. I forget his names. I'm sorry. I forget his name right now. So the idea is Coach Prime has this team that he kind of like had to put together within like 2 months. To understand, he had to put this together within like 2 to 3 months, because after spring, then all of those kids left, and then we had to bring in some new kids. I'm saying all of this to say that even with our current team and what we're looking forward to, at the end of the day, we are still going to have to depend on that transfer portal to replenish whoever is either going to leave or to get a better O-line and a better D-line. If you look at the trajectory, or if you look at the landscape of college football right now, all of the people that are currently playing that are really good on these O-lines, all of those people are not leaving. I want y'all to understand this. All of those people are not going to be leaving their team and jumping into that transfer portal. So what's going to transpire again? You're probably going to be getting some players that are good. Maybe they didn't get playing time, but they're dogs. Coach Prime does not necessarily need all of the best players in order for them to mold them and shape them into good players. So right now we don't have all of the talent that we need. So people's expectation was undefeated season. It's like undefeated. It was like either you go undefeated or it's a bust. It's a total bust if you don't go undefeated. Why was the expectation based on an undefeated season? Why is everybody in the uproar based on your false expectations? It was not supposed to be an undefeated season. But the thing that everybody is really going off of, the thing that they're really mad about, is because Coach Prime has this bravado about him. Coach Prime has this bigger than life thing about him. He projects confidence. He exudes confidence. You see what I'm saying? And he is one of those people who believes in himself, in his ability, and he believes in his God-given talent. And he knows how to treat human beings. So when he projects those things to other people, people are like, you got to be humble. They're saying weird things. And I'm like, so he's not supposed to say those things? Hold up. So you tell us to be confident and to believe in ourselves, but we are not allowed to say it because in the name of, let's say, humility. You got to be humble. So it's like, I don't understand. I know that you are supposed to allow other people to give you praise. You are supposed to the way that humility works is, don't praise yourself, don't put yourself on a pedestal, or don't put yourself in a certain light. Allow other people to do that for you, because then it creates some type of resentment in other people. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a whole lot of that, So the whole idea, guys, the whole idea of the title, guys, is to get people's attention. Can we just move off of the titles? Understand what I'm trying to talk about. All right? People, this is the stuff that everybody is saying. The honeymoon is over. The Deion Sanders experiment is over. I'm using the title to gather interest so that people can understand the meat of the story. It's called headlines, guys. Get off the title. Understand what I'm trying to do. Okay? That's how newspapers write news stories. But this is what everybody is saying. It's an experiment. The honeymoon is over. But what does this really stem in? Where is it coming from? It's coming from a place where our expectations were based on his bravado, the way that he carries himself. Because he says that I'm good and I'm here to win. We created these false expectations in our heads, and when we have somebody on our side like the ESPNs and the other people talking and saying, yes, this guy is a winner, he's a natural born winner, all of these things are in our heads, and we're saying, okay, prove it to us. Now you got to prove it to us. So we lose 2 games to 2 top teams, 2 ranked teams. Anybody else losing to ranked teams, it doesn't make news. But it's because if Coach Prime loses 2 games to ranked teams, it makes news, and then people start to question. What are some of the questions that are coming out now? The process. He got too many cameras in the locker room. When Coach Prime made this statement, he said, the fan only blows when you're hot. So the fan only blows when you're hot. People need to really take that statement and break it down into their heads and understand. People need to understand why the fan only blows when you're hot. Because at the end of the day, people are really looking at you based on your abilities, what you're able to do on the field. What are some of the things that are coming out now? Travis Hunter sucks. Travis Hunter can't guard nobody. He's not the best corner in the league. What am I looking at? I say, okay, he's not the best corner in the league. When Travis is healthy, I don't know anybody that he can't guard. So where is that coming from? Expectations. It's coming from people's expectations. We need to curve our expectations and understand, because somebody has confidence and because they project confidence and say, I'm going to win, it does not matter. It doesn't mean that they have to win every single game or they suck. So to be 4-3 and exceeding the expectations of last year already, to come in knowing that this team was put together within a few months, you have to understand, you got to go with that in mind. So I want to know, where are people's mind frame when it comes to Deion Sanders, his staff, and what is your expectation so that we can understand as a fan base, what do you expect to happen? Was it all or nothing? Was it 8-4? Was it 10-2? Where was the expectations and the grace for growth? Because I see some top teams losing too, but yet it's not over for their program. So tell me, why is it not over for their program, but it's over for Deion Sanders' program? Oh, I'm not watching no more. Paul Feinberg, or whatever, I can't pronounce his name. Oh, he's over. It's the Deion experiment, the whole Deion situation is over. We don't want to, nobody's going to be watching no more. He got a Stanford game that nobody was going to watch anyway, right? Because this is the lowly Stanford. Got 3 million viewers. 3 million. The 3 million viewership still ranked higher than some of your best teams in college football. So now people are taking 3 million because the expectation came from 10 million, 9 million, 7, 8, the expectation has been set. The bar has been set so high that there's no room for error. There's no room for these kids to grow. Lessons have to be learned. You got to go through a process. These are young men trying to figure out how to play this game of football as a unit, as one unit. So I want people to understand, when you bring together a bunch of people coming from different parts of the world to play and trust each other, it takes time to do that. So everybody just got to calm down. Coach Prime's bravado, the idea of him alone, there is no way it's ever going to be over. Whether he wins, lose, or draw, is never going to be over. Just know that. It's not going to ever be over. Okay? The UCLA game, I don't believe it's supposed to be on CBS. They had to kick somebody else off of that. One of the top games, they had to kick off of that to put them on there. Even while they lost in such an embarrassing way to Stanford. So the idea that this is over is only stemming from people who had the wrong mindset, the wrong expectations in their mind, are now casting their idea, whatever was in their head, they're casting it upon the idea that Coach Prime is over. This is only telling because when you are in your little corners and you're talking, you're thinking one or two things. Can he really do it? Is he really that good? Who does this guy think he is? He ain't really that good. When he talks, he's a showman. Coach Prime is not just a coach. Coach Prime is a showman. He understands the entertainment value and the entertainment aspect of sports. Take it as seriously as you want to take it. Okay? Oh, there are serious coaches. They're not talking about that extra stuff. Take it as seriously as you want to take it. But at the end of the day, you know what it boils down to? You got to put butts in those seats. This is not the serious part of life. Sports is not the most serious part of life. We're dealing with war all over the world right now. We're dealing with much more serious stuff in our lives than football. So I don't care. I don't know where all these people coming from with it's so supposed to be serious. We're forgetting about the entertainment value of sports. Sports is supposed to entertain us. Have you lost that part of it? Where in the world is supposed to be so serious that you can flash your watch, take it more seriously? Where, when everybody is trying to sell tickets, I signed up for the daggone TCU game to get the tickets. I'm still getting emails. It's entertainment. You're mad at somebody who understands the entertainment and knows how to do it way better than a lot of your other people. If a game was boring, guess what? You would not tune to that game. Let's be frank. Everybody's talking about Deion Sanders because he's entertaining. That is why they're talking about him, because he's entertaining. And sports is supposed to be entertainment. He is giving you entertainment. The culture of coaching, has it always been serious? Yes, it's been serious. But we just learned, and we are in the midst of a changing of the guards. Deion Sanders is showing you another way that this thing can happen. Everybody is mad because he's breaking the mold. Deion Sanders is breaking the mold. He's telling you now, it ain't gonna be this way. Just like when we filmmakers, we were thinking that we were all that. With me with a camera, and I can make a film, and we were not an anomaly. And all of a sudden, Cell phone cameras came alive. DSLRs came on the scene, and all of a sudden, everybody were a cameraman. And we learned that there are different ways and new ways to do things. Coach Prime is breaking that mold and letting people know, hey, this doesn't always have to be. It doesn't always have to be some old white guys being so serious about this thing. Let some black guys in. We're fun. We bring rappers. We do it a little differently. This isn't no all white boys club and let them wear their little their polo shirts, look clean on, and then some of them wear suits on the daggone field, and they're looking like this, and this is how they carry themselves. That's what coaching is supposed to be. It's got to be all serious. Coach Prime is breaking that mode. He's coming in here flashy. He's wearing his chains like a rapper. Yes. His son is flashing his watch like, I got a rollie. Deal with it. You can't afford this. Deal with it. Supposed to be entertainment. Why are we forgetting and acting like football or any type of sports is supposed to be anything other than entertainment? You go to the stadium after a long week, okay? You've been having a long, hard week. You work hard for your money. You work hard and you're going trying to feed your family. You're doing everything you can to feed your family and you're stressed. People are pulling you from all places. Things are happening in your life. When you go to a sporting event, you know what you want to do? You want to forget about all of that. You want to relax. You want to be entertained. The reason why women's basketball is not as exciting as men's basketball is the dunking, the extra fanfare, all of that. That's entertaining. So where are we coming off with this new thing that we're seeing? And we're saying that, because he's not undefeated, it's a bust, it's over. You're just mad because your expectations are not being met. That's it. That's all it is. It's not their expectations. Coach Prime knew that there was going to be some bumpy roads. There were going to be some hard times ahead. He knew that because he knew, looking into the eyes of these players, Coach Prime knew, looking into the eyes of some of these players, that they're not all dogs. He knew that they're not all dogs. He's like, man, I'm looking at some of these players. I don't see what I need to see to make me feel comfortable that they are dogs and they want to play this game and they love this game. So he knew there was going to be a bumpy road. No, he can't predict that he was going to catch a team slipping in the first half and give them 29 and then come back and for some odd reason they wake up and then they lose. Nobody can predict that kind of stuff. Nobody knows what's going to happen in that kind of situation. Could they have coached better? Yes, they could have coached better. They could have managed the game a little better. Yes. But this is all part of that process. And I want people to understand and relax. All of your best teams. If you look at the board right now, some of the teams that are not supposed to lose or have lost. Arizona State or Arizona is not supposed to beat Washington State, according to the information. Okay? USC wasn't supposed to lose the way that they lost. Everybody loses. Everybody loses. But because of the expectations that we have for Colorado, when they lose, it hurts us. It takes something away from us because we want them to win all the games just so that we can continue to support Coach Prime and really ride with his message of he's a winner. In order for a winner to be solidified and continue to win in the fashion that he wants to win, he or she wants to win, they have to take L's. L's are going to teach you different types of lessons. Everybody coming up, take certain L's. Those L's are going to teach you a lesson that maybe the winning was not able to teach you. Hey, son, Don't touch the stove. Okay, daddy. Do not touch that stove. Okay, daddy. Son goes away and he starts thinking, I wonder why daddy is telling me not to touch the stove. Maybe I won't touch the stove. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh man, what is it about the stove? So I touch the stove. Boom. Oops. Woo. This is why daddy told me not to touch that stove. I understand now. Oh my goodness. The little splinter, the bubbles start to form. The experience that you had with the mindset of I shouldn't touch the stove is different from the experience after you touch the stove. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is these L's are going to teach a different type of lesson that the W's, just understanding of doing the right things, don't teach you. Making a mistake like either having your team post your merch during halftime versus maybe waiting and then that leaking, it teaches a different type of lesson. If it's never done, you will never know. Lock into the game, there's a lot of things that are going on. So I want people to really understand that you cannot always just win. It's not, who is it helping? It's hard for you to win, even at life. Y'all don't even win this much in your own life. Nobody wins this much in their own life. So why are you expecting this to be win, always a bust? When you catch an L at work, do you quit? Do you leave? No. I want people to understand this is a process. Those kids, Deion Sanders believes in God. Okay? Deion Sanders he puts his religion out there. Okay? He puts it out there for everybody to know. He says his prayers. He says, I'm coming here to win. So what does that mean? He tells the reporters, I'm going to win. So everybody puts it on their little piece of paper. I wonder if he's going to win all the games. If he doesn't win, then what happens? He tells people, listen, do you believe now? Do you believe now? They write it down. Okay, wait till you lose. Let me see if you believe. All of these things are based on our perceptions. They are based on how human beings react to things, how we treat each other, whether I believe in you or not, or I want to glean something off of what you're doing so that I can help my personal life. I can't win. I don't win that much in my life. So my expectation for Deion Sanders, I can sit back, take the loss as bad as that loss felt. I learned something from that, even about myself. I'm learning a lot about that, even for myself. I didn't lose, but what did I learn? I'm learning that, wow, I really had a false expectation of this man. I really had a false expectation of where God wants to take these young men. What lessons that God, the plans that God has for these young men, for not just the college life, not just the on the field life, but outside. What happens when you are in a situation where things are going well, but you get in the way of that? This is what it looks like when things are going well and you don't get out of the way. Y'all think it's just like, oh, they lost big time, but there's no lesson, nobody cares, right? No. God is also training these kids up. That's what's going to happen to these kids. And you don't have to think about God, or if you're not a believer, whatever, it doesn't have to be that way. Okay? So just think about the fact that when you get into a situation and you don't know how to handle certain situations, what do you glean from? What in your DNA, in your history, in your past, in your upbringing that is going to help you to get into this situation and stay there? Because what you have to understand, it's not always about making it big. You start something today and you want to just jump straight to the top. It's not always about just making it. It's mostly about sustainability. Sustainability. I'm going to repeat that. It's mostly about sustainability. You need certain lessons in life for sustainability. When you are going through hard times, when you are going through battles in your life, when you are going through a tough storm, something is just wrong. You need to have something inside of your upbringing, inside of your past, in order for you to be able to sustain yourself through that storm. Because for a lot of people, if you don't understand, a lot of people quit in the storm. Please understand, this is just the beginning. But if you don't learn any lessons in your upbringing, in your beginning, then when you get to your middle, heading to the end, you don't have nothing there. You have no substance, nothing around you, inside of you, that has really helped you to maintain and go through the storm. So yes, he's going to learn a lesson about the watch. He's going to learn a lesson about the posting halftime. We need this. These kids need this stuff. Sometimes we forget that we're dealing with young men that need to be taught lessons. When everybody's praising you, when everybody's got you on their good charts, just understand, as much as they have you up there, it can go like that in 1 second. It all can go like that in 1 second. Because how do we know? Travis Hunter, once upon a time when he was 100% best thing popping, Travis Hunter goes out on the field. He is not 100%. We know he's not 100%. He's like maybe 65, 70%. He's gassed because he was out for like a month or so. He's playing in altitude in Colorado. Okay? He hasn't really practiced 100% full speed. With 60 to 70% effort, he scores 2 touchdowns. He is able to hang with a guy that he would have shut down on any given Saturday. If he's 100%, he's able to hang with him for the most part, but then on some crucial plays, he gets burnt. So what are we saying about Travis Hunter now? Travis Hunter, is he as good as he should be? Should he even be playing both ways? Whenever you lose, people come for you and they start pulling onto things and start saying, this is the reason why. Now it's because he's playing both ways. He's not big enough. He's not fast enough. I'm hearing people saying he's slow. Deion Sanders does not need all of those cameras in the locker room. It's a distraction. Even though he won with the same process at Jackson State. But nobody considers Jackson State HBCUs to be anything. So that's what people think. So that's what I'm saying. When we are losing, people use things that they think are an annoyance. They start pulling some things off of that and saying, this is the reason, that's the reason, this is the reason why. It's over now. Get rid of those cameras. Go back to the old school. Become like the good old boys. Get your collar up. Get rid of all the chains. Tell Shador to stop doing his things like this. As if he got rid of all of those things, he's going to get all of a sudden, the old line will start playing again. The old line will play better. The defensive line will play better. They will stop missing tackles. If he gets rid of all of the cameras, they will tackle better. Come on. It's over. It's only over because of your overhyped expectations. Okay? It's only over because you had a false expectation. It's not over because Coach Prime is still Coach Prime. He's still the best thing spinning. I'm spinning too. Coach Prime is still the best thing spinning. So how can it be over? Everybody's still going to talk about him. On his worst day, he would do better than any coach in college football. They talk about him in politics. They talk about him in comedy. SNL is talking about him. They're talking about him in all walks of life. They're talking about him in places that you're like, wait, why do they have a Deion video? Why does this person have a Deion video? How can that be over? You love to see him lose. So guess what? He's supposed to lose the cow. That's coming. He's supposed to lose. He's supposed to lose to UCLA. They're going to tune in to come and see that too. How is it over? We're talking about your false expectations. My false expectations. I want him to win. But every time we take an L, you know what I think? I learned something new about myself. I learned something new, guys. Hit that like button. Let's get this stream up. And thank you for joining me, guys, on your lunch break. I appreciate you. And some who are not on their lunch break is morning for you. But I had to go live because I felt like when I do the videos with the voiceover and I just put like some B-roll on it, I feel like it doesn't show my emotion. It doesn't really show when I really want to bring a message across. I gotta show you guys, because I feel like sometimes there's no way I was gonna do justice to what I wanted to really say by putting it in a voiceover or doing a regular video, because I want people to understand something. We're learning a lot more about us while they're learning lessons about life. Okay? Please learn something about yourself in this process. What is it that we're looking for when we watch Deion Sanders every day? What is it that we're trying to glean from him when we're watching him every time on all these videos? When you click on a Deion Sanders video, what is your expectation? Why are you here? What are you here for? Why are you following Deion Sanders? The people that call us fanboys, they're always calling me fanboy. They have more data than I do, and I'm the data king. Ain't nobody online that have more data than I do. Hands down, let's go. But the people accusing me of being a fanboy, they have more data. So how am I a fanboy? It seems like you're the fanboy because you know about a daggone book that he wrote 10 years ago. I didn't even read the book. And you're telling me all you fanboys are the problem. I'm just saying, why are you here? What is your expectation of Deion Sanders? What do you want to learn from Deion Sanders? Why do you want him to win so badly? Okay, this goes both ways. It's bad. Why do you want Deion Sanders to win so badly? Search yourself. Ask yourself that question. Why is it that you want Deion Sanders to win so badly? And then on the flip side, why do you want Deion Sanders to lose so badly? What is it about this guy that you want him to lose so badly? We all need to answer that question because it's going to help us personally. We need to answer the question, why? You follow him so closely, but you're not a fan. How can it be? How can you follow him, his every move, watch all of his videos, any thumbnail that has Deion Sanders on it, you may not click on it all the time, but it leaves an imprint in your brain. Every single video that's online, that's on YouTube, or wherever you get your Deion Sanders information, every time you see a thumbnail or a title that has Colorado, Deion Sanders in it, you may not click on it or you may not have had the time to click on it, but guess what? It leaves a thumbprint in your brain like, I wonder what they're saying about Deion now. That can never be over, no matter how far you go. Because you want to know why? Because you're always going to be thinking, did they win or did they lose? And then you got to ask that question. But why did I either want them to win or why did I want them to lose? We got to answer these questions. If we don't answer these questions, then we're going to keep going in the direction that we're going in. A lot of us are going to be really hurt that they lost because we want them to win so badly. And then a lot of us are going to be like so happy that they lost because we want them to win, to lose so badly. But why? Let's ask, maybe the title of this video should have been, but why? And if I did that, then most people won't even click on it. You see how headlines work? Some of y'all just clicked on this because of your curiosity is over. One guy comes in here, he's like, let's unsubscribe to this clown. He's already calling me a clown. He doesn't even know me. Let's unsubscribe to this clown. But why did he click on this video? Because of that curiosity. If you think it's over, then why do you click on every single Deion Sanders video? Why is it that every thumbnail that has Deion Sanders' photo on it, why is it that you always get the inkling to like, I want to press on it. Oh, shoot. He ain't talking about nothing. Shoot, he got me. That curiosity ain't going nowhere. I want to let you guys know that curiosity is not going anywhere. If you don't know that by now, that curiosity ain't going nowhere. It's only going to get better and better. It's going to grow and grow and grow. Next season, even if we lose the rest of these games, we can lose the rest of the games and go 4-8. And guess what? That curiosity is now going to quadruple. You know why? Because people are like, dang, but what is he doing next? But what is he doing now? Who's he recruiting? The next video I make, you're going to click on it because you'll be like, oh, shoot. He got somebody. Oh, his O-line is growing. Oh my gosh, he got a big man. He got a 6'9", 400-pound. Oh my gosh, they're gonna win again. And then here you are again. You come back on. You're like, oh yes. Oh my gosh, he got the O-line he wants. He's about to kill it. Deion is about to kill it. That's next season. You're like, oh shoot, they're back. Them boys are back. Now they got the O-line, and now you're gonna be sitting back watching every single minute. So if you think it's over, you are crazy. I'm stamping it right now. If you think this is over, you are crazy. It's only going to get worse or it's only going to get better. Because that curiosity, you can never get rid of it. I'm telling you, as much, let's go this route for a second. As much as a lot of y'all wanted to hate Trump, guess what y'all did? When he ran for president, you know why he won? Because we made him win. As much as you wanted to talk about him, every time you saw a Trump thumbnail, what did they say about Trump now? As soon as somebody wrote something, oh, Trump is in trouble. Oh, boom, you click on it. Because you just can't get enough. You just like, oh yeah, they finally got him. If you see right now, the judge take down Trump. Oh my gosh, they got him. Yes, they got him. You click on the video, you got nothing. Why? Why? You got to start asking these questions. You got to start asking these questions and answering these questions. Why? What did he do to you? Why? Think about the why. That curiosity is growing. It's growing. The more people talk about how bad he is, the more the curiosity grows into the base that is not even watching yet. Every single day, there are more Deion Sanders videos that are made for YouTube in college football than any other team in college football. The way that the algorithm works, you click on one video, okay? If you click on one video, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you something better. You don't even have to click on the video. You put your phone on, and this thing is going on. When you scroll up, the video that you land on without clicking on it, it'll start playing. The audio is automatically muted, but all you have to do is just click on the unmute button, and you can hear the audio without ever clicking on that video. That's how a lot of people are watching this stream right now. Because if I look at my numbers, I see 58, but there are more people watching me right now than 58. My last stream, I had no more than 100 people watching. When I was done, it was 1,500 people that had watched the video. When I clicked done, 1,500 people had watched the video. So you don't even have to go. You just scroll up, and you can see the video. But people are either this world, the whole Deion situation is so interesting because the interest in him losing is a lot, and the interest in him winning is a lot. That's what you call a perfect storm. Hit the like button, guys. Let's drop this thing up. I'm preaching right now. I'm bringing the pain. Let's go. Okay, I could not do this in another video. I had to go live. You had to look at me. Okay, right now I want to blow my nose. I want to sneeze. I can't even do it because I'm live. I'm trying my best. So bear with me. Okay. Hit that like button. Let's drive it up. But Deion Sanders' interest, the things that's driving this machine, is bigger than your imagination. It's bigger than you think. Because the curiosity is going to drive people nuts. I'm trying to let you know why you shouldn't even listen to Fonbon. You should not even listen to anybody saying it's over on any network, because the curiosity is what kills us. Even if we write them off, somewhere in the back of our heads, okay, we can go to the beach, we can go on vacation, and just on the day that he's playing and say, no, I'm not going to watch, but I guarantee you, you're going to want to know what the score is. You're always going to want to know how Deion is doing. That's how it works. That's how this curiosity things work. Even with people that hate him, they have, the people that hate him have more information than the people that love him, than some of us. Because in order for you to hate, you need to be armed with a lot of information. Man. Whew. My body has been fighting this little virus that's trying to creep in there. Been fighting like a champ, boy. The people that hate Coach Prime, the people that hate him, sometimes they have to have more information than a lot of us. Do you ever notice in a conversation having a jousting match with somebody who's a detractor of Deion Sanders who hate him? You ever notice how, thank you, Looney. You ever notice how when you are in a match or a shouting match or an argument or some type of conversation with somebody who hates Deion Sanders, when you say something, they have a rebuttal? You ever notice that? How their rebuttal is always accurate, like they have mad information, and you're like, well, dang, I didn't even read that book. You're like, wait, you read that book? I don't even remember what are you talking about. Like, you see how they have, so can you even call these people haters anymore? These people are secret admirers. Are you kidding me? How can you be a hater and you have more information about the guy you hate than I do? If I love something, like Coach Prime says in his press conference, if you love something, you would give your time and your excuse me, you would put a lot of time into the research and trying to get more information. So yeah, I put a lot of time in research into Deion Sanders, but I didn't realize that the haters, the detractors, they have put more time into Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, than I have. So I'm like, if I love him and I haven't put that much time, then that means you love him. You don't hate him. You can't call these people haters no more. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. Yo, Reggie, I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. So let's break these people down all the way. Let's take that hater half of them and show their gray hair. Let's show how old they are. They're older than me. Okay? These people are not haters. These people are lovers. They are admirers. They ain't haters. If you're just coming, guys, I'm fighting a little bit of a virus, so please forgive me for coughing. Crazy said take it easy. Nah, man, when I get passionate about this stuff, man, I gotta go in. That's why I had to go live. I'm like, man, how are they gonna feel my energy if I'm just talking with B-roll? They're watching the B-roll, they're not really watching me. But if you really think about it, these so-called detractors and haters, they have the same vested interest like we do. They're just disappointed on a different level. That's all it is. These people are really admirers who are just highly disappointed that he didn't do what he said he was going to do. Because there's no way you are a hater. If I hate something, I don't spend no time with it. No time. Or at least I would try to spend the least amount of time on it. Like, I have a fear of heights. You think I'm going to go climb mountains? I had to fly to go to these games. You think I'm thinking about the next time I want to go fly, or I'm hanging around airports? No. The things I don't like, I spend the least amount of time with it or on it. Okay? I don't go in the woods too much because I don't like snakes. Matter of fact, I don't even go in my garage that much anymore because there's so much junk in there. I think snakes have probably crept in there, and I'm afraid to go in my garage because I'm fairly new to my house, so I threw everything in the garage, and now it's so junky, I can't even go in there without calling my son. See, I'll tell you, don't tell my son, but when I need something, I'm like, Elijah, can you please go to the garage to go get that thing? Don't tell him that's my secret. Because I feel like there's some snakes in there. Like, snakes have crept up in that garage. There's so much junk in there. I don't even go in my garage no more. Before, I used to just walk in there and grab stuff. But now I don't even go in my garage no more. I hope Keisha's not watching, or none of my kids are watching. Because I'm going to be telling them, hey, go to the garage and go get that stuff, because I don't like snakes. I don't spend any time in crowded places because I feel like, oh, snakes, something. Like, if you are a hater, you don't spend as much time on Deion Sanders as you're doing. You're clicking on every video, you're commenting, you're engaging with us. That's not a hater. That's an admirer. You are an admirer. You just have a different level of disappointment than the people that like him. Because I may have felt some kind of way with that loss, and I can like Deion Sanders is my friend. Right? I'm like, Coach, come on, bruh. Like, are you telling me you couldn't put everybody on number 13 to stop him? If I'm having a conversation with a man to man, I'm like, that's how I talk to a friend, how I talk to an admirer would be different. How you talk to him is different. You just laugh because you're thinking you're laughing. You're not really laughing. You're just disappointed, and you're showing your disappointment in a different way. That's all it is. My disappointment looks different from your disappointment. You're disappointed. You don't know that you're disappointed, but you're only disappointed and you're showing it in a different way. Ha ha ha, clown emojis. That's what you're doing. Because inside you're hurt that he lost. That's all it is. So that's what I'm saying. Like, If I talk to Deion constituents, if I talk to the BWBs, the bandwagon buffs, because I'm like, we're here for Coach Prime, right? We are supporters. If I talk to them, I'm like, damn, man, we lost, man. Da 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 da. You know, oh, coach could have done this differently. He could have done that differently. Man, I wish somebody would have I wish they would have put Travis in the slot. They would have put Travis in the slot and let number 13 run on his own, and then pull the safety, put him alone, cheat him over, so that when 13 comes, you got 4 hands or 6 hands on him. You know, that's how I would talk to coach. I would just say stuff that I'm disappointed with, and I'm like, man, Shador needs to fix this. He needs to, stop holding the ball so long. I'm not saying that with no clown emojis. I'm not saying that with no awe in my heart. I'm just saying that because I love them and I want them to win. You're saying sort of the same thing, but you're saying it with clown emojis. You're saying it with laughter. You're poking fun at them, and you're saying this sucks. You're saying all of the opposite things, but you are just as an admirer as I am. We're just handling it. We're just handling our disappointments differently. I did not know I was going to say that. That's something that's coming to me. I'm actually learning about you too. I'm learning about your detractorness. Now I understand there are different levels of love. All right? There are different levels of love. There are some couples out there that don't tell each other, I love you. They hit each other. Like, that's a different level of love. Like, they'll give an elbow, or, your wife comes home. You don't go greet her with a kiss. You look up, and if you have your socks on your foot, you would take your socks off and you would throw it at her. And then she would take her bag, drop it, and then try to give you a suplex. That's love. You're just showing your love in a different way. It's like a pastor preaching on a Sunday. He may start the message one way, and then somewhere in there, he gets a revelation, and then he delivers that revelation. I now just got a revelation about the detractors, the triple Ds, and this is how they are. You love Deion Sanders, hombre. Slap happy, y'all love Deion Sanders. All of you guys who say that you're haters and you come with your clown emojis, all you're doing is showing your appreciation, showing your disappointment in a different way. You're showing your love in a weird way. Okay? That's all it is. Because you have just as much information as I do. So if Coach Prime is right, and if you love something, you're going to give to it a lot of time, then that's what you are. You are a lover of Deion Sanders. Point blank, period. That's it. So when we come back to this whole idea of, is it over? You know why you're saying is it over? It's because somewhere secretly inside of yourself, you're saying, oh man, I hope it's not over. That's what they're really saying. They're holding their fingers like this and saying, oh my goodness, I hope it's not over. That's all that's happening here. The people that are saying it's over, like the Feinberg, he is only expressing himself in a weird way because secretly he wants it to continue to go on. He wants people to know, like, man, somebody's finally speaking of my alter ego. Somebody is doing something that I can't do within myself that I always wanted to do, which is flex. Anytime I want to be able to tell people I'm the bomb, man. I'm the man. Somebody's doing that on this level, and I secretly don't want that to be over. I enjoy that. It's fun for me. I've never seen anybody so confident and just say they're confident. So it's going in this direction. I really love it, and I don't want it to be over. But because there's so many people just like saying, oh, why he's so this way, I have to express this in this way. Humbly said, I never showed no hate towards they're going to lose? You expressing they're going to lose, they're going to do this? That's not hate. Bruh, when you just come out and you just want somebody to lose just because of? Let's get it serious. Anyway. Caleb is still here. I'm not sure if you went back to lunch. Crazy old East. 4-3, guys. It's a winning record going into the bye week. That's a winning record. Yes, it should have been 5-2, but imagine 5-2. Some of your best teams are 5-2. Some of the ranked teams are 5-2. Imagine being 5-2. Oh, Caleb, what's up? You still here? Reggie, what up? Reggie Gage, what up with you? Definitely, Humbre, you a troll. You know you a troll. Stop playing. Wild Dog says 4 wins is a successful season for CU. It is a successful season. Now, a lot of people may not see it that way, but he's already exceeded the expectations. Now we're just looking for the icing on the cake. That's what we're looking for. The icing on the cake. We want more. Okay? We want more. We're looking for the icing on the cake. All of us. The so-called haters, the extreme lovers. I gotta start calling these people the extreme lovers. Because when somebody has more information than you yourself, man, that's an extreme lover. The extreme lovers and us regular lovers, we want more. Our expectations are very high because we want to continue to ride this high train. We don't want to keep getting on this low train. All right? We just need 2 games to go to a bowl game. It's going to be very tough, yes. But I want y'all to keep in mind that we have the team to do it. We have the team to do it. All right? The team that played in the 4th quarter with USC, the team that played in the 1st quarter with Stanford, if those two teams can meet, if those 2 teams can meet, I guarantee you we'll be either 5-1 or 6-0. Is it 5-1 or 6-0? Yeah. Is that right? 7-0. I don't know how to do math. My goodness. What am I talking about? Because it's 7 games. 7-0. Our expectations are different. We all have high expectations. That's what this is about. We all have high, very, very high expectations of this team. Number one, because of the bravado of Deion Sanders, because of his swagger, because of his stature, because he's so fun, because he's such a galvanizing leader, because he's such a it's so easy to hate him, and it's also so easy to love him. All of that has created all of these expectations for us, and we just want more. I don't think Deion Sanders had to win any games. I'm just going to put this out there. I don't think he had to win any games, and he would have still exceeded expectations. Because if we go down this narrative for a second, right? If Deion Sanders doesn't win any games, he garners sympathy for recruits. People he really fought hard to put this team together. He changed the culture and he changed the environment in Boulder at the school. He brought a lot of people together, but he wasn't able to win any games, and he will garner sympathy in the industry. It's very hard to do that where he goes there and win TCU. He beats TCU. He won his first 3 games. And he just has this whole braggadocious attitude. Think about it. If you watch the SNL clip, right? Coach Brown, he's unapologetically him. You know what I'm saying? Somebody asked him a question about his son. First of all, you want me. He takes the stat sheet, and he's like, Okay, let's see. He did this, this, and that. You want me to change that guy? Next question. Yo, how can you go all the way in loving this guy? You want, like, what we really want is a humpback, okay? We really want a humpback guy, black guy. We want a humpback guy with a collar shirt, 3 buttons, and he should be like, well, you know, Shador is trying his best, and you know, we'll try our best to try to put Shador in positions to win. But you know, he's a young man, he's growing, he's always been like this. We want the answers to really make us feel better about ourselves. That's what it is. We want Coach Prime to make us feel comfortable with us, because I don't feel comfortable when somebody tells me they're going to do something. Wait, what did you just say? Yo, I'm gonna win. You're gonna win? Oh, that's cool. Yo, you keep doing that. Oh, Dad, you just won? Yes, he just won. Oh, shoot, you're not supposed to win. So when he's talking the way that he's talking, people don't like that. You know what they do? They register it in their little black book. The little black book that says, this guy is braggadocious, this guy is into himself, he's this, and they have a laundry list. People have a laundry list of things that they do not like about Coach Prime, and when he loses a game, they take 1 or 2 of those things and says, you see, that's what this is about. This is where it ends up. I take those things and say, he needs to be more humble, because his humility is going to win more games. Somebody even said in the comments, if you're humble, losing doesn't feel as bad. I said, wait a minute, what? He said, this dude really said, if he was more humble, the losing, hopefully I'm not misquoting this guy. He said, this guy really said, if you're humble, losing wouldn't feel as bad. I said, wait a minute. For a second, I was reading his comments and I was going like, oh, okay. And then when I got to that part, my eyes lit up. I was like, wait, what? If you're humble, losing doesn't feel as bad? What is this, some type of sympathy party? Please feel as bad as I feel? Please feel bad with me? I want you to please feel bad with me because I feel down. So is this like, okay, so the whole entire world is down and I need to join your downness? That's not what humility is talking about, guys. That's not the lesson humility is trying to teach. Yes, the Bible talks about humility. Do not speak highly of yourself. Allow other people to do that. That's what the Bible says. Because when you do that, okay, when people are putting themselves out there, okay, when you hold yourself at this high esteem, what happens is when you come down, then they're ready to chop you off. All right. So the interpretation of that is supposed to be, oh, let's feel bad because then so other people will feel bad with us, make it easier when we fall down. No, not that. Not that. So there's a very fine line between you telling yourself, I can do this, believe in yourself, and you have nothing to show for it. You cannot, like, the Bible says, if you're going to brag in the ability that God has put inside of you. Brag in God, basically, brag in the God inside of you. What did Deion be doing? Deion Sanders give God the glory for his abilities. And he prepares like nobody's business. Deion Sanders doesn't trust himself. You know what Deion Sanders trusts? He trusts his preparation. He trusts his preparedness and his readiness. Let me bust out the bubble for a lot of people who don't really study Deion. Deion Sanders, his braggadocious, his bravado, the thing that makes him who he is and why he's so confident is his readiness, is how much he puts into readiness. He's like, who is practicing more than me? And how many hours is he practicing? Then when he finds that information, oh, he practiced 3 hours and he wakes up before everybody. You know what? I'm going to practice 2 more hours and I'm going to wake up before him. So he is actually putting his readiness and his preparedness on the line with anybody that he's going against. And he's like, God has given me the ability, he has given me the green light to go for it. Because he already told me that faith without works is dead. That's what people don't get. The Bible tells you, if you have the preparedness, the readiness, put your faith in that, okay? And brag in the God that made you ready for that. And give him the glory. The last time I checked, I think Deion Sanders is checking all those boxes. He's like, okay, God, how far can I go with this? I can say I'm good? Yes, okay. I can say you gave me the ability? Yes, of course. Check, okay. I can say I'm gonna win? Yes, you can say you're gonna win, but you gotta prepare. If you have faith, you can tell that mountain to move. If you have faith, you can't be afraid of the mountain, so you can tell that mountain, I'm about to tell you to move. So I can do that? Yes. Deion, you can do that. Check. So now what? God says, give me the glory. Just know that I'm the one doing it inside of you. Oh, that's easy. You get the glory. I already know that. That's no easy. Done. Say less. Say less. So Deion's like, oh, I get the green light? Like my hat, I got the green light to do what I'm doing. God is like, yeah, you gotta temper it down a little bit, but yeah, you good. I'm all right with you. You all right. Go ahead. As long as you remember to prepare. Because the second you don't prepare and you go running your mouth, that's when the holes are going to be plugged by people who can see that you didn't prepare. Deion Sanders is always prepared. That's why he holds people accountable. That's why you keep hearing him telling the kids, listen, you cannot go flashing your hand. You can't go celebrating when you haven't watched tape. I can't put you in the game. You're going to make me look stupid. If I put you in the game and I look at your record, I'm the coach. I'm sitting in my chair every week and I'm looking at the record. Whether you press play on that game preparation video or not, you're going to bring shame to me. The only thing I brag about is my preparation, my readiness. What is it that people don't understand? Deion Sanders is really bragging inside of his preparation-ness. And he's telling the young men, make no mistake. He says in his press conference, he says, match my energy. Y'all understand that, right? Deion Sanders is telling these young men, just match my passion. Match my ability to prepare. Match me. Match my energy. Before you go and doing and saying what I say, before you start doing the dance that I'm doing, make sure that you prepare as hard as I prepare. Because I know that if I don't prepare as hard as I do prepare, I can't say the things that I'm saying. I can't flex on those reporters. I cannot do my dance in the end zone. I can't do my two-step dance. I cannot do any of that if I don't watch tape. So for everybody who thinks that Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, needs to be more humble, I challenge you to prepare like Deion Sanders and go out and say those things. God will put a stamp on you. He will say, you're good. Go ahead. Because faith without works is dead. If you do the work, you have all the right to tell the mountain, I'm about to tell you to move. I'm going to make you move. Tell the mountain, I'm going to move you. That's all Deion is doing. He's just speaking the faith that's inside of him already because of his preparation. He's just telling you, the mountains. He says, yes, I'm going to move you. You're like, what? I'm going to move you. You're going to move who? You. You don't understand. I'm about to move you. How you going to do that? That's when you start doing the Denzel laugh. I can't do it that well. That's when you can sit back and do the Denzel laugh. Oh, I'm about to move you. So when he keeps telling, when he's doing those things, his faith is speaking. It's hard for you to conceive that. It's hard for you to really pick that up. You're only going to see braggadocious. He's self-centered. He's into himself. But you don't see that he's speaking faith. He's telling you his faith, his preparation. He said this in interviews. Some people miss it, but he has said this. If Deion didn't practice something, if Deion knew that he wasn't ready for something or he didn't prepare enough, those are the days that you would catch Deion and not Prime. The people that the interview people, the people that are, how do I put this? There are two people. It's hard to say he's not schizophrenic, but there's two things going on. In the interviews, you catch Prime, but Prime would not show up if Deion didn't prepare. I'm preaching, guys. I hope you're catching this. Smack that like button. I'm going to repeat that so somebody can catch it. If you're watching this in the restream, I'm going to repeat this so you can understand. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, there's two things going on. If Deion Sanders on this hand did not prepare and he knew he wasn't ready, when he goes to an interview, Prime would never show up. Prime wouldn't show up. Prime only shows up when he knows that he has prepared and prepared on top of preparation. That's when Prime shows up. Because now Prime is that alter ego that just says, Deion is ready. Deion, he's ready. He's done everything that he can do. He's ready. Then Prime has all the confidence to now talk his talk. Prime says, showtime. Prime is ready because now Prime is showtime. Because when you have prepared, what you now can do is show off. You are given the right of way to show off if you are prepared. Because what you got to do now? What does God do to people who go into their prayer closet? I'll wait. When you spend time with God in secret, what does he do? He shows you off. Showtime. He puts you out there and he says, go. I got my stamp on you, my son. Go. Because I know that you're prepared, you're prayed up, you're ready to go. And I got my stamp on you. You can now go. Because I know you're not going to make a fool out of me. You ain't going to say some dumb stuff and make a fool out of me. I know you're ready. Because you and I were in that prayer closet. You and I spent time together, and I know what's inside of you. I go for the heart. I know what's inside of you. So now I'm giving you the right of way to go show off. Show off. It's showtime. That's when Prime shows up. Prime is only showing up. Prime always shows up when Deion Sanders have prepared. Please understand this. I was not going to say that. This is coming to me in real time. Prom only shows up when Deion Sanders is prepared. I hope you pick this up. If Deion Sanders is not prepared, if you watch all of Deion Sanders' interviews, you know if he wasn't prepared. He tells you. If he wasn't prepared, Prom would never show up. Prom, if he didn't do his homework, if he wasn't 3 steps ahead of the interviewer, if he didn't know, Prom wouldn't show up. It'll be Deion Sanders sitting right there trying his best to make it out of this interview. But because he prepares so much, that is the same energy that he is telling these kids, listen, don't worry about the cameras. Don't worry about all of this. This is for a purpose. But in order for you to bash in this, in order for you to take all of this, all of the shine, everything that I'm trying to tell you that Prom has done, all of this is yours for the taking. But there's only one thing I require of you. One thing. Prepare. Do you see Deion Sanders in all of his meetings telling them, y'all going to make a fool out of me. Y'all are going to make a fool out of me because you don't understand why Prom shows up. The kids don't understand why Prom shows up. They haven't connected to the reason why Prom shows up. And they're trying to emulate. God, speak to me. Speak to me, Lord, right now. The players are trying to emulate what Prom does instead of preparing like Deion Sanders. And you know what imitation does. Ooh, I'm preaching right now. You know what imitation does. I don't know how many of you guys remember the story in the Bible where I'm going to paraphrase it for you. I'm preaching right now. I'm in the house right now. Yo. Somebody was trying to cast out a demon. I'm talking about imitation. Somebody's trying to cast out a demon. And the demon goes, wait a minute. Jesus, I know the disciples. But who the heck are you? Who are you? I don't know who you are. Those kids are trying to imitate Prom, but they are not preparing like Deion. That's a message right there. They're imitating Prom, but they're not preparing like Deion. Because Prom never shows up until Deion is prepared, like the way Deion prepares. And I don't think that people who are in the media, people who are his detractors, people who follow him, who look at all his moves, they cannot connect to that spiritual lesson. They cannot connect to that internal process. He's not showing off just to be showing off. He's only displaying for you to see how much you need to prepare for every moment. He's teaching us a lesson. He's telling us, hey, friend, life will beat you up. But hey, friend, if you prepare for life, you can tell life to suck it. Because I'm ready for whatever you bring to me. That's what he's doing. He's preparing. So then when he speaks out of the confidence of his preparation, what normal people see, he's bragging. He's all into himself. It's all about him. He thinks he can do everything. He's all this man. Oh, he's winning a life. He's winning. He's going to win all of these things. You can make fun of that when you don't know what's behind it. You said, cover 2 said, dude, what are you doing? Talk football. Talk football? I'm talking football. I'm talking football. But the carnal mind would never understand this part of football. You cannot be elite at football without preparation. You cannot imitate something that is great if you haven't put in the time, because you're going to be exposed. Because all that you are is an imitation of something that took time to prepare. So you're trying to act and perform like the great Deion Sanders, who put most of his time in preparation. That's what gives him the confidence to show up as prime. So he bashes in the glory of that. But when people see that, they think he's just showing off. But he's just displaying how much of preparation he has put in. So his confidence comes from that, which you don't know how to interpret, because the carnal mind cannot understand spiritual things. I'm using the spiritual things to explain to you how football works. Because Deion Sanders, cover 2, Deion Sanders was the best corner in the game. He was probably one of the best football players, if we talk just the best overall football player, because he played multiple positions in the game of football. So what made him to be that way? That's what I'm trying to explain. What made him to be that elite? That's football. If you're the best at something, how did you get this way? How did Deion Sanders become Coach Prime? How did Deion Sanders become Prime? That's what I'm explaining. And these young men are looking at the final product. They're looking at Prime, and they're missing Deion. That's football. You can't skip Deion and go to Prime. Prime is a result. Prime is a result of Deion's preparation. They're an imitation of Prime, but they're not preparing like Deion. He's telling Cormani McLean, go study tape, because I got the stats right here. I can tell if you clicked on the button or not. Go study tape. If I don't see that you've done at least 70%, 80% of tape, you're not ready. And you're not going to make a fool of me. You're not going to make a mockery of me. Because when I put you out there, you're going to get beat. And when you get beat, everybody's going to look at me and say, you see, he ain't as good as he says. Because everybody think they're playing Deion Sanders. Am I not making sense here, guys? You don't even got to be spiritual to understand what I'm saying. The young men are looking at Prime, and they're missing Deion. There is no Prime without Deion. Deion Sanders' preparation, people miss that. Deion Sanders was the original Black Mamba. Maybe if I put it in Kobe language, may his soul rest in power, maybe some people will understand. The Black Mamba prepared Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant prepared more than anybody. When you watch interviews right now and people talk about Kobe Bryant, what they talk about was his level of preparation. That's why he was the Black Mamba, because of preparation. If you go on TikTok or you're watching any of these, you're on social media, anytime these Kobe quotes pop up, for the most part, you will hear him talking about his preparation, his level of preparation. It was at Dwayne Wade. He tells a story about how he woke up mad early one time, and he wanted to go practice. And then he was like, oh man, I'm practicing like Kobe. But he didn't realize that Kobe had already put in 3 hours before he woke up. When he learned that, he was like, forget about it. I'm out. I can't. You mean you have put in 3 hours before this? I came on here early. I came here early. How in the world could you have? I came here at what, 4 o'clock in the morning? There's no way you put in 3 hours before 4 o'clock in the morning, and then you're putting in more hours after 4 o'clock when I show up. How's that possible? Forget about it. So you can't call yourself the Black Mamba, the destroyer, the cold killer. You can't call yourself Prime if you don't prepare like that. You can't go into meetings and doing all of this and be like, I'm about to take them down. I know I can. You come in here with the bandana on the head or on the neck. You know. I think he explains how the bandana went from the head to the neck because he had some drips. So to cover the drips, the bandana came down, and that was a fashion statement. And then Prime comes out doing his thing. He don't talk about nobody. You never hear Prime talk about anybody else. Prime just says, I'm about to do this. This is a lesson in Prime so you can understand the mentality, the man, the person we follow, and tell you why it's never going to be over. I'm telling you why it's never going to be over. Just when you count this man out, just when he stays 10 steps ahead of everybody, you think that he didn't go into his prayer closet and knew that this was coming? Do you really think that Deion Sanders is that naive to think that this wasn't coming? He already knew that this was coming. That's why he keeps telling you, I don't give nobody my remote, because you can turn me off and you can turn me on. You can press on and you can press off. I don't move that way. I don't move with fan appreciation, because 1 second in a game, I can go from I'm the best cover to I'm the worst cover. So understand, I'm talking football. Football requires preparation. You're just not used to football being explained in spiritual ways. And I'm trying to tell you that there is a spiritual aspect of this game. I'm just trying to uncover it so you can see. You too can develop your prime. But guess what? To have a prime, you got to be a beast Harry. Okay? To be Harry billionaire, to be Harry billion, you got to prepare Harry. You ain't just going to be some joker. You ain't just going to be talking. You can't just talk it. The walking that comes in your preparation. So when you think that Coach Prime is up there just talking, or he all braggadocious and that, no, he's speaking his faith. If you didn't know before, now you know. Okay? Biggie, go back to it. If you didn't know, now you know. No. Add all your expletives that you want to add. If you didn't know, now you know. That's how it's working. That's why it's never going to end. Understand, it's never going to end as long as Deion Sanders is in charge. Please get this and get it clear. It is never going to be over as long as Deion Sanders is in charge. Why did I repeat that? Because in order for it to be over, that means that Deion Sanders is going to stop preparing. Did y'all catch that? In order for this all to be over, that means that Deion Sanders is not going to be 10 steps ahead of us, and he's going to stop preparing like he has done always. Like he has no more tricks up his sleeve. Do I need to repeat that for y'all? I'm going to do it for you. It's never going to be over as long as Deion Sanders is in charge. He stays 10 steps ahead of all of us. While he was playing and putting Prime on showcase, people were doubting him the same way. Always. He can't do it in this game. He can't do it that game. He can't hit a home run. He can't do this. He's been climbing this ladder for years. The same way people are doubting him now. He can't do this. He can't do that. It's the same way they're trying to doubt him now and saying it's over. And I'm just trying to get you inside of the mind frame and tell you why it's never going to be over as long as Deion Sanders is in charge, because he's 10 steps ahead of all of us and he prepares too much for it to be over. Deion Sanders is shy. Deion Sanders is shy. So have you built a program team before? Who cares about what you built? Nobody cares about building a football team. I'm talking life here. What are you talking about? This has not, what? This is how you build a football team. If you want to brag, you got to prepare. If Deion Sanders is in charge, you best believe that this show is just getting started. This is like, it's not even a matinee. This show is just getting started. For you to even put in your brain or to even fathom 1 second that this is over is for you to think that you haven't figured out. You don't have Deion Sanders figured out because we all thought we had him figured out already. And every time we think we have it figured out, something else happens. And here we come again. Oh, here we all go again. I'm just trying to tell you. Man, I should have brought some tissue. I told myself I'm going to bring some tissue, but then I didn't bring no tissue. But I'm breaking it all the way down so people can understand. Thank you, Jane. I appreciate you. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring it all the way down. Like, let's just go to the core. Please go back to this video. If you ever for 1 second start doubting, come back to this video to understand that this is a process. That Deion Sanders is different from Coach Prime. There is no Coach Prime. There is no prime time without the grind time. Okay? Deion Sanders, his nickname should be Grind Time. Because in order for prime time to be available, grind time has to work. Okay? In order for prime time, I can't even figure out which finger I'm using. In order for prime time to be available, grind time has to do his grind. Is this making sense? Because I know some people are like, yo, talk football. This is football. It doesn't matter if they go 4-8. It doesn't matter. I want people to understand. Brace yourself for the worst. Brace yourself for the best. It doesn't matter. It's building. It's okay. You gotta relax. You got to relax. Because we know who's in charge. As long as Deion Sanders is in charge, I'm like, you know what? I don't care anymore. Primetime, go do your thing. Do your thing, because I know you're preparing. And he's challenging his kids. He's like, look, man, just match my energy a little bit. You ain't even got to do 100% of matching. Just prepare. And all of this is ours. He told the kids in the locker room after the game, you better expect it. You know it's coming, because I know as Deion Sanders, I know if I don't prepare, there's no way I'm going out there and putting myself out there. And then half of the time, like halftime, I'm already dancing. Deion Sanders doesn't do that. Primetime knows when it's time to dance. So that's what he's trying to build this mentality in the kids, because they can have it all. These kids can have it all. Think about it. These kids can have it all. And that's all that Deion Sanders is trying to let them know. You can have it all. You can have the praise. You can have the merch. You can have the watch deals. You can have it all. I can get you the watch deal, but I need you to go into your prayer closet. I need you to get the work done. Stop asking God to release you, and you ain't spent enough time in that prayer closet. Stop asking God to elevate you when you ain't spent enough time in that prayer closet. God don't even know your name. Yeah, you go to church every week, but that's for you. That ain't for him. You go to church every week to feel good about yourself. That's all about you. To say I went to church, to feel better about your situations, to pray and get that good kick, to get that feeling. You went to church for you. You ain't going for God. God don't even know your name. It's all about you. Stop asking God to elevate you when you haven't spent enough time in that prayer closet. For the football heads, that's what Coach Prime, Deion Sanders is telling the kids. That's what LeVar Arrington. That's what what's his name? Shannon Sharp. That's what all the guys are saying. and Stephen A. Smith. They're saying, not in a spiritual sense, like I'm saying, they're saying, stop trying to imitate Prime without putting in the time. So you get the spiritual and you get the carnal or the explanation. If you haven't put in the time, don't think that you're going to shine like Prime, because you're going to get exposed. It requires discipline. God cannot trust you to elevate you, put you out there with his name and his stamp, put you out there, because what you're going to do is you're going to embarrass him. So for those of you out there thinking that, oh God, why you haven't put me out there yet, God, please elevate me, send me. You're sending all of these other people. You send this guy, that girl, you send them, and you haven't sent me yet. Spend more time in that prayer closet. I guarantee you. Learn to build trust and make it not about you. Let it not be about you getting a fix. About you getting a fix. Okay? If it's not about you getting a fix, and it's about you getting out of the way so God can find a way to use you, then he might elevate you. But let's be frank. A lot of y'all are doing it for you. A lot of us, we do it for us. God don't give a dang about football. You are 1,000% incorrect. You are 1,000% incorrect. God uses all things, everything. There are people that are in this live that have not heard the word of God one time until right now. If you think that God doesn't care about football, you're lying, because God is using football to bring whoever here to hear his word. Some people haven't heard the word of God until right now that I'm saying his name. So if you think he doesn't care about football, you're lying. God uses everything in ways that you would not even believe. How am I on here? You come here for football and I'm preaching to you. I'm giving you the word of God and talking about Deion Sanders and football. That's how I know God cares about football. He can teach. You think he has Deion Sanders on this platform to glorify his name in a place where people are sending him letters every day saying, don't pray with the students. We don't want to hear that prayer stuff. People who didn't care about Colorado football to begin with, now sending letters to Colorado telling Deion Sanders to stop praying. God used Deion Sanders to get to those people to hear the word of God. They wouldn't have heard it otherwise. That's how I know that God cares about football. People said the same thing about God doesn't care about hip-hop. God doesn't care about rap. And then we got Lecrae, we got T-Bone, we got A1 Swift, we got Dak, we got all of these rappers who know how to break down the word and give you the word of God. God cares about everything. He's in everything. He's omnipresent. So that's the word for you. And he probably came so you can hear the word through football. That's why you know he cares about football. And thank you, God, for using that comment for me to say that. Because somebody needed to hear that. People only pray when things happen. God doesn't care about football, but we're always sending prayers up. When somebody dies, when somebody's about to die on the field, when somebody gets hurt, prayers up. Prayer emojis up for this player. He's down. Oh, let's bring God. But no. God is outside of the stadium. God is not watching. He don't care about no football. But prayers up. Let's pray about this guy. Didn't somebody just get hurt in football? Prayers up. Atheists are throwing prayer hands up for this player. Oh, my favorite player. As soon as he gets up, he's good again. Okay, God, get out of here. You don't care about football. We don't need you no more. Go. 9/11. Everybody pray. After 9/11, okay, nobody cares no more. Come on, man. What we talking about? But I wanted to read this comment. Where is it at? Right here. Boom. Peter Investor M. Deion plus prepare plus time equals prime time. That's perfect, Peter. That's it. Please get what Peter just told you. This is what it takes for you to be a champion. This is what Deion Sanders is preaching, not Prime. Prime is the guy that goes to the interviews. Deion Sanders is the one in the locker room. Deion Sanders is the one on the field. Deion Sanders is trying to get these young men to understand what it takes to be prime. If you want to be prime time, if you see these lights, there's never been a time where prime did not shine in the lights. It baffles me at times myself. I'm like, how in the world can he always do all of this when the lights are brighter? He just does it. I'm like, Lord have mercy. How does he do it? Because Deion Sanders prepares like nobody's business. Deion Sanders is a shy man. Like he said, he was once a country boy, now a countryman who likes to fish, and he's probably an introvert. He likes to stay at home and just do his thing like Travis Hunter does. But he understands that in order to get money, in order to get the lights to shine on him, he understands that prime has to come up. So how do you get prime? You got to prepare. When he was doing interviews, same thing. Michael Irvin said it. Michael Irvin helped Deion Sanders to be really good at TV. He said he came in and he put papers on the wall and he put cameras on them. He said he wrote camera on it. And he told Deion, he said, Deion, this is how you get better. When the camera is this way, you're gonna look over here. When this red light comes on, you look over here. So he started preparing. Understanding the media. This is after football I'm talking about now. He started preparing to master the media, to understand how to deal with cameras, where to look, how to look. The commentary. When he said enough, when to stop talking, to give a sound bite, to give quotes. He's mastered quotes because he understands that in media, it works with sound bites. So when you give a quote, you stop talking, let the other person talk. Bada boom, bada bang. Because in the media, when they edit, they're not going to put your whole speech on. They're going to do it in sound bites. So he has mastered quotes. He's mastered the art of the soundbite. So he'll give you what he needs to give you. But if you spend time with him, that's when he can bring it all the way down and say, oh, that stuff was the soundbite. But let me tell you what it's really about. It's in my preparation. Let me tell you how we're going to prepare. We're going to stop eating that. We're going to stop doing that. We're going to wake up in the morning. We're going to go running. That's Deion. We got to go run. We got to lose the weight. Who do you think you're dealing with? You're dealing with Deion. When you're hearing Prime, Deion has already prepared. Prepared plus time equals prime time. So when you get Prime, just sit back, relax, and be like, okay, we're good. Deion is already prepared. We know. Get anything out of this whole live. When you get anything out of this whole live, just sit back, relax, and say, oh, we're good. Deion is prepared. Anytime Prime shows up, just know that Deion is prepared. That's the only way Prime shows up. That's it. Spend time preparing so that you don't make a fool out of yourself. Spend time preparing so that you don't make a fool out of yourself. That's what Coach Prime is teaching. That's what Deion Sanders is preaching. Spend time preparing so that you don't make a fool out of yourself. Because if you showboat, if you say that you're good, if you walk into the end zone, Xavier Weaver, if the first half you catch the ball and you don't just run through the end zone, if you walk in the end zone, in the second half, you better make sure that your name doesn't get mud on it because you lose the game. Because now you're walking, you're sending the message that you like that. All right? Shedeur Sanders, you're holding the ball back there and you're dancing, you're going around because you're up for a lot of. If you do that, Shedeur, if you do this, you better make sure, Shedeur, that you secure this game. Secure the W. That's the only way that this makes sense, Shedeur. You better understand that when we go for it on fourth down, Shedeur, that you have to throw that ball, Shedeur. This ain't no question. I don't want to take an interception. I don't want to do that. There ain't no question in your brain because if they catch the ball, it's just like a punt. Okay? That comes in preparation. If you throw the ball and if they intercept it and they get tackled, it's like a soft punt. It's a better punt. But we can't take a sack because then we lose yards. If you go back 5 to 10 yards, we just lost 5 to 10 yards. So Shedeur, if you're going to do this and you're going to play in the backyard, in the background, in the backfield, and take silly sacks, just know that now that you're feeling yourself, you better come out in the second half and win this game. That's Prime. That's the preparation. Because I know that if I start, the second I start celebrating, I better be ready to show my celebration, what my celebration was about. And that's where we get caught up. That's where people don't understand to put the icing on the cake. And that's all Prime is trying to prove. So when people say it's over, they're only saying, I'm disappointed that it might be over. I'm disappointed that he's not going to be doing everything that he says he's going to be doing. It's not over because Prime is in, because Deion Sanders is in charge. So that's what I wanted to come out here and talk to you guys about. I wanted this video and I wanted this live to really talk about the idea that our expectations are leading us, are guiding our emotions, and really causing us to say some crazy things. A lot of us. Travis is not trash. Let's get that out of our brain. Travis was not 100%. Does Shador make mistakes? Yes, he's a young man. Let's stop treating Shador like, even though his dad calls him grown in his phone, he's still a young man growing. There are going to be growing pains. He does a lot of things correct. But let's have some more grace for him because he is going to make mistakes. I'm coming to learn that. All of the expectations that I've had about this team and all of the things that I know that they could do, I'm learning to have more grace for each player, for Coach Prime himself as a coach. I have to now understand, like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Let me put my power thing in before we lose this. Y'all can still hear me? Because I touched my mic. So, y'all can still hear me? Hopefully. I want everybody to please recalibrate your expectations and give Coach Prime time, because Coach Prime himself is also learning. It's very hard for us to even fathom that Coach Prime is a new college coach. He coached for a couple of years at Jackson State, and now he's coaching at Colorado. He still needs time for him to grow. All right? Yes, he's been coaching for over 20-something years, I believe. But Coach Prime, each coach, as far as the coach concerned, each level requires a certain amount of discipline as a coach. Each level requires a certain amount of, let's just say, a certain amount of management. Because as a head coach, that's what he's doing. He's a manager of the game. So let's keep that in mind as well. All right? And let's give him more grace. Let him grow a little bit more. I'm having to do that. I'm having to find myself to do that. All right? So let's understand that he needs some grace. So let's apply grace on the whole team and give them time to make mistakes, because in the mistakes, they're going to learn a lot of valuable lessons. Let's let the kids have fun. This is entertainment. Let's allow Shador to throw his hand up. It's okay. Let him do his watch thing. It's okay. Give Coach Prime let him do his camera thing. Do your camera thing. Because the cameras go away doesn't give you better linemen. Let him do his camera thing. If that's his thing, let him do that thing. Who cares? All right? We know that this team is going to be okay. We know that this team is going to be okay because Deion is in charge. Deion is in charge, and he's going to prepare. We trust in his level of preparation, and he's going to continue to do what he needs to do. Deion Sanders is always going to do what is required to win, because Deion Sanders has also fallen in love with Prime. The same way a lot of us has fallen in love with Prime, Deion Sanders has also fallen in love with Prime. He looks at Prime, he's like, dang, you cool, man. I want to be like you. I want to hang out with you more. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want us to hang out more. So he feels some kind of way when Prime cannot shine. If he feels like, if Deion, you know, if Prime is not able to show up, then Deion feels some kind of way. So Deion is in love with Prime just like a lot of us is. And that's why he wants to prepare so much, because he wants Prime to shine. If that helps anybody to understand something else, you know. So cameras don't get you better linemen. They show what you're doing, and then hopefully the linemen will come. But because the cameras are gone, doesn't mean that the linemen are gonna show up. So, this would be the worst team Coach Prime has had at Colorado in the next 5 years. Yeah, because Coach Prime, Deion Sanders is always going to prepare. He's always going to be ready for the next challenge. So, yeah, this will be. But also, I want to speak on that also. I don't think that next year they're going to have the O-line that we're looking for. I want to caution some of y'all because the expectation now is, oh man, after this, Coach Prime is going to get everyone that he needs. Coach Prime is going to get all the linemen. He's going to get a better line. He's going to get a better D-line. Let me caution y'all now. I'll break this one down too. It may not transpire the way that you may be thinking. The only reason why is because of how the transfer portal works. Coach Prime cannot go out there and go recruit young men that are not in college. That are not in college and be like, hey, come play. If he does that, they're going to have the grade and they're going to have to enroll in college and they're going to have to come. Okay? So they have to be in the college atmosphere. All right? So the transfer portal, it gets guys who are either disgruntled at their old program, they want to leave and find better situation, or for whatever reason, they're going to jump into that transfer portal. What am I saying? The best linemen are not jumping into the transfer portal. For the most part, they're going to stay at their program. They like it where they are, and they're going to stay there. Are some people going to get into that transfer portal? Yes. But I don't think they're going to be the best linemen in the transfer portal. So we're going to be having the same situation that we had. Because the best linemen are not jumping into the transfer portal so we can scoop them all up. People are not going to be leaving their program. They're not going to be leaving Oregon, USC. All the best linemen are not going to line up and be like, oh, yeah, let me go play for Prime. They're not going to do that. So I want to caution the base because we're going to get excited. We're going to get excited. Come on, cover two. Come on, man. Give me a break here, cover. Cover two said, now you're on point. Recruiting, bro. So I want to come on, man. I want to caution you guys, the base, for those of us who are light on football, more on Coach Prime, please apply some caution. It ain't going to go the way you're thinking. It ain't going to go the way you're thinking. We're not getting the best O-line in the country in year two. I don't want to bust your bubble, but we're not going to do that. I don't know why I'm laughing. Because I think some people are naive and delusional enough to think that, oh my gosh, man, after this, coach is gonna get all the men that he needs, and we're going to the NAT next year. No. Time out. No, that's not how this works, okay? Because it has to be within the scope of the college atmosphere. If Coach Prime could just go out there and just grab anyone, trust me, nobody would ever beat Colorado. All right. If Coach could just grab people, nobody would score on Colorado. Nobody would score on Colorado if Coach Prime could just go grab anyone. Like, people would be begging for mercy. Oh man, how can I put this? So please curb your enthusiasm. All right, guys. So please curb your enthusiasm and come down to the reality of what's going to transpire next year. It's going to be based on that transfer portal heavy. The reason why I'm saying on the transfer portal is because of the scheme that Coach Prime is implying, that Coach Prime is applying at the college to recruit. It's 40, 40, 20. Keep those numbers in mind. It's 40, 40, 20. It's going to be 40% graduate, 40% undergraduate, 20% freshmen, high school players. There's only but so much scholarship that can go around. Okay? You don't have that much scholarship to hand out. So in order for you to get the best guys, you need to offer them a scholarship. Yes, you're going to get like the Bishop Thomas. You're going to get some dogs that come out of the JUCO arena that want to play for Coach Prime, and they're going to try out. Coach Prime is going to do all of that. But you're only talking about one or two guys. You're not talking about the whole line. All right. So that's why I'm cautioning us now to just make sure that we're prepared. Let's take baby steps into this stuff. All right. Just take baby steps. You're going to be fine. This team is going to grow over time. We're going to win more decisive games next year because coach is going to get a few dogs. All right. So how do you look at it? Look at it like this. We will get more bishops. You guys see 95, number 95, Bishop Thomas. You guys see how much of a beast he is. Like, this guy is a truck. He's a monster truck. All right. And then the Savion Washington, Tanks. So we're going to retain some of those guys, but you're only going to be able to get a few of these guys to come and play. But what you have to understand about how this works is that we need what's called DEPTH, depth. These guys get gassed, they tweak their angles, things happen, and you see how Oregon, when we play Oregon, they were switching guys in and out like that, and fresh guys were coming in and just killing us. We need the same ability to be able to do that. So that's going to take more than one or two guys. Does that make sense? All right. So if you get one or two really good players, what you end up doing is you overplay their snaps. So when you're overplaying their snaps, they're not having time to rest because you're depending on them too much. Just like we had to depend so much on Travis Hunter. There was nobody else that we had on the corner to be able to give Travis Hunter a break. 23 was getting burnt. Komani probably didn't watch enough tape. So Coach Prime was like, I'm not putting you in. I told you I'm not changing. So you better go watch tape if you want to play. I'm not playing you because I think you can play. You got to get with the program. So that's why DEPTH matters so much in college football. Because if you're able to rotate fresh legs, man, you're going to be a problem for a lot of teams. That's what USC was doing. Stoudemire. So that's what USC was doing. That's what CSU was doing. And y'all thought CSU was really bad. I think CSU who did just beat? They just beat what? Dang, I forget who they beat. CSU just upset a really, really big team. All right. So they were doing they were switching guys in and out. So yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Recruiting is going to take time because there's not so many guys that's going to be in that transfer portal. Yeah, you're going to go get some guys, but man, think about all the guys that's going to leave. We're going to lose some of our dogs. Believe it or not. Shocker alert. Okay? Shocker. Colorado has the depth. They have the players. Wait a minute. Are you new, Carter? Indian Carter, are you new? What games you been watching? What? Are you one of those people who just say things? Come on now. It's obvious we have a depth problem. That's the whole idea. We're overusing guys. It's not that we don't have players to play. We can't give the ones that are playing any rest because the next guy up is no good. TLP, do you believe we need that kid going both ways? Listen, if we're talking about Travis Hunter, I say Travis Hunter can go both ways if he wants. Yes, if he's healthy. But you saw how gas he was. So it's hard to go both ways when you gas and then need you in office. So I want people to take a step back and look at the data. Travis can play. Travis's conditioning is like Coach Prime's conditioning. Do you guys notice? Excuse me. I don't know how many of y'all know investment terms, but there's this thing called bullish. When you have a really good feeling about a stock, and you just know that this stock is going to win, you're bullish on that stock. All right. You go all in. Like you want to go all in on that stock. Coach Prime is bullish on his quarterback and Travis Hunter, and I believe Jimmy Horn. Coach Prime always big up those people that prepare like him. Have y'all picked that up? Because Coach Prime doesn't want to big up anyone or put anybody on a pedestal that's going to make him look like a fool. So he's always bullish on the guys that prepare like him. And he's seen his son is obviously, his son. He's seen him. And then you realize how he's so bullish on Travis Hunter because he knows that Travis prepares like him. That's why he's so bullish on Travis. That's why he says the things that he says. So Coach Prime is really like if you look at it, if you really look closely, Coach Prime just bashes in preparation. So that's why he always goes hard on the players that prepare that well. And he's looking for people who are going to prepare. Because Coach Prime knows that if he can trust you if you can prepare. Because he knows that winning is in preparation. So that's what it is. But just understanding, guys, curb your enthusiasm for next year's line. All right? We're going to get some good players, but we're still going to have a depth problem. All right? So don't get all hype about what's going to happen next year. Just stay even keel. Just stay here with it, okay? Don't be all up here. Just stay right here and believe, because we're going to get some really good players, but I don't see the data based on what has to happen. Player eligibility, getting accepted at CU. The transfer portal has a shorter window now. All right, so I know they're getting some calls from people. They've already secured some people, and they're getting some calls. I believe it was the pregame show put out a video about recruiting. So those guys are working very hard. All right, those guys are working very, very hard to make sure that they get the pieces that are missing. But it's going to be very hard to get like elite players and get 7 or 8 of them back to back. It don't work that way. I think CU going to surprise you next year. I don't know that Deion Sanders can surprise me because I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know that CU can. Deion can't surprise me because the way I look at him, I'm like, yo, I'm always like, I'm bullish on Deion. I'm like, yo, do your thing. I don't sit back and wish the worst on him. No, I don't wish the worst on him. So, but we got to keep in mind how he's recruiting. 40, 40, 20. So 40 graduates. How many graduate students can he really get? How many graduate students are going to leave their current program? Or if it's a graduate student, that graduate student, I think what they got 1 or 2 years. If you're a grad student, you have two eligible years, I think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So it's going to be grad students from other programs. Let's just say somebody from Oregon graduates and they were on Oregon's O-line and Oregon doesn't want them. I guess that'd be weird, right? If you are a beast at Oregon or at USC or at Tulane, just name a school, at UNC, wherever. If you are a graduate student and you're going to apply to come back to school, that's 40% of the team. So just keep in mind how much graduate students he's going to be able to get. And then undergrad, 40% of undergrads they're after. So how many undergrads that are currently playing college football? They're currently on a college football team. All right? How many of those undergrads are going to leave their school and come over to see you? Put that in your mind. How many of those are going to leave? How many can he get from the transfer portal? So let's think about that. All right? What are the likelihood that the beasts, the dogs, the real good players, all right, how many of those are really going to leave and come and play for Coach Prime? I think what Coach Prime banks on, he banks more on mentality. I don't think he's banking on extracting elite players from other schools. I think what he banks on is mentality, the mind frame. He can turn you into an elite player, but you got to have the mind frame to do that. Because football is just, the ability to play football is one thing, but the mind of a dog is another thing. That's where he's going for. So you may not see him go get the top players from these teams. You may see him just go after really dogs like the Jujus, the Bishops, the dogs, the ones that just like Coach Prime, put me anywhere. Coach Prime, like Bishop, I think Bishop plays some offense too, right? Like Coach Prime. TLP, this is Coach Elliott. Gotta go. Love your show. Gotta finish this mix later. Bless you. Yo, salute, man. Thank you for spending some time with me. I appreciate you. So listen. So at the end of the day, the way that what you should look for, what you should expect, not look for, what you should expect the Coach Prime to get is not that you're gonna get those elite players that are on other teams coming over to see you. Don't expect that. What you should expect is dogs in the building, because I think Coach Prime wants dogs who play football, not really good football players who can be dogs, if that makes sense. He's going to get people with the mentality, and then he's like, I already know you play football, because at this level, I know you can, if you can run, you can catch a ball, or if you can run, you can tackle, then that's football. Football can handle itself. So football is going to handle itself. But what does he need? He needs guys that are going to go after it. Guys that are not going to give up in the second quarter when you're down. Guys that are not going to give up in the fourth quarter when you're down. Like the Shadors who always know that if you leave any time on the clock, I'm going to eat you alive. He needs more Shadors. He needs more Bishop Thomas. He needs more Travis Hunters. He needs more Jimmy Horns. But guess what? We stopped talking. We stopped naming names. Who else is there? More Xavier Weavers. It's like the more you go down the line, then you kind of start cooling on the names. You're like, okay. All right, that one he's okay, but he's not a dog yet. So imagine having a bunch of dogs on that team who are going to go after it. So team chemistry is going to come. El Hombre. Team chemistry will work itself out. So that's what I wanted to just caution us for next year. Enjoy the rest of the season. All right? I'm going to end this stream real soon. All right? But, guys, enjoy the season. Whether it's 4-8 or they happen to go into a bowl game, or 8-4 if they come and win all out. Enjoy the season. Somebody said at Rita. Miss Rita, you in here? Where you at? Oh, Miss Rita, what's up with you? Hold up, Miss Rita. I didn't know you was in here. Miss Rita, what up with you? Miss Rita said the football is going to handle itself. We need players that can handle the football. Oh! Bars. Bars, Miss Rita. Bars. Where'd that come from? Miss Rita, I got to come back out there so we can have some more Texas barbecue. Woo! We haven't talked for a while, Miss Rita. Oh, and I haven't even sent your shirt yet. Lord, forgive me. Please send me a text. So listen, that encapsulates what I'm trying to tell you guys. While Coach Prime is not going to get probably proud away top players from other programs, the hope is that he gets some people with the kind of mentality that says, I have no quit in me, with the Shador mentality, with the Travis mentality, where you're like 60% and you go out and still, and you're putting your body in the way and you're catching the ball and wheezing after you, and then you catch the ball and you hold on to the ball after they hit your rib, the same rib that they hit last time, and your liver says, what just happened? Who hit us? And you still hold on to the ball. Like, that's what you call that's the winning mentality. If Coach Prime can have those type of guys, more of those guys, the football will handle itself. So I guess in a way, I can kind of retract some of what I'm saying. Not necessarily retract, but maybe adjust some of what I'm saying. Next year could be a problem. Next year could be a really good turnaround, because I think now people get it, and I think some of the players understand what coach needs, and they know. They're like, oh, I think kids are watching, and they're like, I can't believe he couldn't make that play. They're looking at 23, and they're like, bro, are you serious? I could make that play. Let me jump into the transfer portal. I know what Coach Prime needs. I think that's more of what's going to happen, that Coach Prime is going to get some real dogs that's going to come into this program, and they're going to challenge a lot of these kids that are on that team currently. Because keep in mind, Coach Prime is not going to change the whole team this time. He's not allowed to do that, okay? The NCAA have rules in place that you cannot revamp the whole roster. So a lot of some of those kids are going to jump into that transfer portal. They're going to come in here, and they're going to be real dogs. And because of their dog nature, they're going to elevate the other kids that are there. And a lot of these kids are now learning, okay? Some of those kids that are not dog this year, there might be a dog next year. I'm telling you, there might be a dog next year. So that's another thing to think about, that some of the ones that are not dogs, they're learning how to become a dog. I think that's another good point too. Yo, Harry, the team was mentally and physically impaired. That's why they sucked in the second half of the game. I can prove it. Just hear me out. You want to come on and prove it? Are you Versace Scotty? Are you at work? Physically and mentally impaired? That's a perspective. I don't know that they were impaired. Let me think on that for a second. Impaired, mentally impaired, physically impaired. The language is tough for me. Yeah, but write something, I guess. If you want to come on and say it, come on. Let me know. I'll send you the link. Wild Dog says okay, y'all having conversations. Betting on CU, my job. Oh, you at work, okay. hear you out. Okay, I guess you type it. If you you're on the phone, sneak watching and typing. Yo, don't get fired, man. We don't need nobody to get fired. Send the link. Oh, okay. All right, I send you the link. That's what's up. So hot tips for TLP Sports at gmail.com. Send me an email. Hot tips for TLP Sports at gmail.com. Send me an email. I'll send you the link. All right, send me an email. Let's go to invite. Hot tips for TLP Sports at gmail.com. All right. And if anybody else wants to come on here and say something, please let me know. All right, so I'm waiting, okay? I'm waiting for your email. Hot tips for TLP Sports at gmail.com. Steven says, Harry, do you work other job aside of this? This is my main job. I do some side gigs and stuff like that. I do some stuff on the side, but this is what I do. As you can see during the day, I just got upset. I was going to do a video, and I was just like, man, listen, I'm just going to go live. I don't care what time it is. I didn't even warn anybody. As you guys can tell, sometimes I don't warn you. I just come on here. I don't care. But yeah, I do some side gigs, but for the most part, this is my full-time job. I do some stuff on the side to make some money, to make some extra money. Cause this thing is kind of slow. I get YouTube checks, but the YouTube checks are not enough to pay all my bills. So I got to do some stuff for the meantime. Yo, hot tips, Versace Scotty, where you at, man? Hot tips for TLP Sports, not TIP, TLP Sports at gmail.com. Come on, I'll bring you on and then we can talk. Did you get it, Versace? You can just copy and paste this email address into your email box. But as soon as you email me, I will forward you the link and you can come on. So let me know if you're coming on. So for those of you who are, yeah. My 16-year-old, he tries, but my 7-year-old, is he 7 or 8? I can't remember how old Micah is. My 7-year-old he's the athlete. He's the one that he's winning races and he's getting all kinds of medals. So I'm like, dang, Elijah, should I give up on you? He's smart and he's the school kid. So the sport thing they ain't for him. So I'm like, all right, man, whatever you do, we'll rock with you. All right, so Versace is scared. He's not coming on. I don't know what's happening. Maybe they call him to go do something at work because I sent him the email. I said, email me. It's not coming through. So we'll wait on we'll wait a little bit. But okay, so I want everybody that's bullish on Colorado, all of the fans, everyone that's actually supporting Coach Prime. I want you guys to please understand one thing. We're all going to apply grace. And don't be a play-by-play person. When you're watching the game, Travis sucks. That's got to go away. Shador sucks. That's got to go away. Because the assessments can be from play to play. They can't be good 1 second and they're bad the next second. Like my man Bubba. You guys know Bubba on excuse me. Bubba the comedian. The guy that says trash. I love that guy. Every day, every time, every week, he's like, somebody's trash. Next week, they're good. The next day, they're trash. And I'm like, what? They win, they're good. They lose, they're trash. Like, oh, man. Oh, my gosh. It's like Travis got to make all the plays. If he gets burnt, if he get a pass caught on his helmet, he's trash. That's not how this works, guys. The best players get caught every now and then. So they can't be good 1 second and then trash the next second. All right. All right. So number 23, they didn't yell at the coach. They were having a football conversation. He wasn't yelling. He was just talking back. And we all know that Coach Prime is old school. Whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, Lord. It's like he's talking back. Like, oh, because I'm old school too. And I'm like, when my kids start talking back, something triggers in my brain. And I'm like, oh, contain yourself, Harry. Don't swing. Don't swing. That's right. That's right. That boy Rico, you're right. Everybody's going to get burnt. If you think Travis and everybody else they need to make all 100% of the scores, 100% stops. Shador got to throw. He gotta always throw bombs, and you can't mess up. Then you need to recalibrate your expectation about these players. It is you know what? It's something that we do naturally. Because when you see somebody, you're like, man, you're expecting the best of them, and when they mess up, you get disappointed a little bit. So that's what I think. Some of us need to realize that, because our expectations are so high that we either speak through our disappointment, and then we say kind of stuff out the, we just say wild stuff. But yeah, I don't think like people should be calling players trash. All right, so I think Versace is rocking Louis now. I think Versace don't went Louis because he ain't around no more. So I think he had to go to work. Trevor Woods. I don't think Trevor Woods is 100% because Trevor's good. Trevor's good. And the defense, like, what do you guys think about the either the lack of adjustments? Because I think Michael Irvin broke it down the best. And I wanted to make a video covering that, but at the time, after, you guys have to understand how, like, us creators, the further along something goes, it's hard for you to kind of double back, because Michael Irvin said something that was very profound about the about what was happening with 13. Ehrlich or something like that. 13, I'm here, y'all. So if you hear Versace, stop acting like you Prada. Email me. Okay, is this you right here? Are you well? All right, so I'm gonna send you the link, I think. Reply. I'm sending. Are you well? I'm just gonna say the first name. You well, right? Should I send it to you? Versace, are you well? Can you say yes? Okay. All right. All right. The link is sent. Let Versace come on, and speak his piece. But if anybody else is bold enough to come on here and say what you got to say. I'll let you say your, speak your piece. You can be a hater. If you keep it respectful, I'm cool with you. So, like, apparently, like, I'm telling you the truth. Like, I've been listening to a lot of people, and I gotta give you guys some credit too, because I would say when we first started, you guys did not want to hear anything negative, anything constructive, nothing. I'm so grateful that for some odd reason, you guys have actually relaxed a little bit, and now you're even more open to constructive criticism. But at first, preseason, you guys were straight killer. Like, anybody says anything, and it's like, I don't want to hear it, nothing. You a liar. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know Deion Sanders. Be quiet. You don't know what you're But I think because of the couple of losses that we had, people have relaxed their ambitions and their enthusiasm, and they're now more susceptible to criticism. Because at first it was like, you say something. People were like this. Let's go. Let's say something else about Coach Brown. Say something else about our Deion. It was not happening. But anyways, our guy Versace is available now. So let's go ahead and go to Versace. And let me see. I might have to put my headphones on so I can hear this guy. All right. And you guys can tell me if you can hear Versace. You ready, my guy? Here we go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to get my video straight. Give me a second.
Okay.
All right.
Should I remove it for now? Okay, so we'll wait while he gets his video straight. So yeah, but I just wanted to let you guys know and congratulate a lot of y'all, because not all of y'all have arrived. And I always say that we all don't arrive at the same time. All right. So I want you to, congratulate yourself, because for a lot of y'all, you've actually relaxed a lot of your enthusiasm, and you're now open. We were all protecting Coach Brown, Deion Sanders. He can do no wrong. But now I feel like the environment, the mood has changed a little bit, and some people are more, what I would say, are more understanding that we need to apply some grace for Coach Brown to make mistakes. We need to bring him down off the horse a little bit and accept him as a human being. Because when you start off with this guy can do no wrong, and then everybody looks like a hater in your eyes. You're not willing to listen to anybody, anything constructive. And some of y'all have arrived to the point where you're even allowing for that to happen. So I would say congratulations to y'all, and you've allowed me to be constructive. And it was very hard in the beginning to do that. Very, very hard. I was like, oh man. I said one thing about Kwamani, everybody's like, ah. I'm like, yo, what is that? What is that feeling? Nobody wants to hear nothing. And then as they rolled on and Coach Brown started saying some of the things, y'all was like, all right, here we go. I think he's ready. You ready?
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
All right, here we go, guy. So you're on. So what's up with you? How you doing, man?
I'm outstanding. I know what I'm talking about. I'm sitting here at the crib. You asked me, was I at work?
I can't hear you.
Okay. I'm trying to cut down my TV.
Yeah, I think you're covering the sound.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can y'all hear Versace, guys?
Okay. Can you hear me now? All right.
You got to turn down because you're echoing. So you got to turn down the stream.
I just did. You got me now?
Okay, I got you. So,
check this out. Man,
you guys let me 1 second, Versace. You guys let me know if y'all can hear Versace pretty well.
Checking me out.
Listen, is that Coach Brown?
Yeah. But that's
Yo, what up with you, man? Go ahead.
well, you asked me was I at work. I'm a professional gambler. I gamble on CU for a living. I already made about 100K,
Okay.
uh, and I'm set up to win anywhere from 2 to 10 million, depending on how they do. I
Okay.
ain't gonna win the 10 million because I had Hunter and Shadur up for the Heisman, and after Hunter did what he did, I lost that money. But they were trying to cash me out early,
Okay.
and so anyway, I'm up here in Boulder. I'm 5 minutes outside of Boulder right now. I know plenty of the players, coaches, and everybody up there. You
Okay.
know, uh, kind of like how you are. They ain't really finna mess with me. I'm obvious a real brother, and I ain't one of those media cats. So, you know, I can't really get too close to them or be up in the media things or whatever. But I do know what's going on with this team, and I've talked to some of the players about it. Now, everybody in the country, every pundit, everybody who is somebody talked about how Hunter is the greatest thing we've seen since maybe Prime himself. He looks better than Charles Woodson and anybody else that went both ways. And a lot of
Tom
people,
himself said that, right?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he said he's further along than him. He
Yep.
just might not be as fast. But man, if y'all look at that game, y'all should be able to realize, especially all
So
of y'all guys,
why are you using the y'all language? What are you talking about? Why are you doing that?
about what part of that, y'all?
You said y'all when you're speaking in like saying y'all like you're not part of us, but
No, no,
you're
no,
wearing
no.
all buffs land all
Look
buff gear.
here. Look. Yeah, 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 yeah. When I say y'all, I'm talking about us. You
Okay.
know, and all of y'all that's listening, for the most part, we all CU fans. Why else would you be listening to Harry Billions in the middle of the day?
No, no.
By the way, I appreciate what you do. I watch you every day. I know everything about y'all, what have you. But hey, man, for nobody in the country was wrong about Travis Hunter. He is the best thing since Prime. The man is cold. He's just gifted. And then as a human being, hey man, he's better than all us. Most people would have tried to whoop on the white boy or send somebody after him, the CSU guy that hit him, Blackburn. But he's such a great guy. He took the high road on that. But I said all that to say this. The man was impaired that game. Most of the CU players were impaired in that game. I can tell you why they performed so poorly in the second half of the game, and I have the answer of why they performed so well. I'm sorry, the reason why they start off slow in all their away games.
Okay.
Man, if they don't realize what's going on, they'll probably lose all the away games because they're only playing at about 70 to 75% of their capability because they're impaired.
Okay. When you say impaired, can you break that down for me? Because I want to understand for the audience to
Right.
understand what do you mean impaired?
This information, and I chose to word it that way, is because, man, I want to come out with my own live later today.
Okay.
Where I break the actual impairment. I'll slide it to you, privately, but I want everybody to first admit that what we seen that second half was the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my life. And when he made that helmet catch on Hunter, man, I almost shed tears. That was sad to see somebody that we know and watch every day. He didn't play like himself. We all know the man is a ball hawk like no other. He go up 40 inches in the air and take the ball from everybody. And to do these sorts of things, you have to play. What do you call that? What do you call that when you turn around and locate the ball? What do you call that? I can't think of what you call it. But he always turns around and fields the ball. You can't get interceptions unless you turn around and make a play on the ball. He never did that in the second half. And that's what you have to do to play cornerback. You've got to be running with the man, trailing the man, and then locate the ball. And that's the way it goes in pros and all level of.
Let me say this real quick on that before I forget. When you are, because I used to be a corner and I watched Coach Prime pretty closely. When you are a corner, right?
Right.
The way that you run to cover is you run faster when you are going forward, right? Because
sure.
When you're going like this, you're not at your best.
Backpedaling.
Right. When you backpedal, you're not at your best speed, right? So
that's correct.
You run like this to go to to catch the guy, and what you're doing is you're watching his eyes, right? To locate the ball and to know where the ball is at and how much and when he's going to be able to either raise his hand to start trying to catch the ball. But what Travis was doing,
that's partially true. I played offense and defense. I tried to play at CU. I ran 4-2.
Let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
I'll give it to you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So on that play, Travis Hunter was doing exactly that. He was going and watching the eyes of the player, watching him to try to see and gauge when the ball was going to come, but the ball was underthrown. You see what I'm saying? The ball was underthrown. So when before Travis could actually turn around and do all of that, the ball was already there, and the guy was already making a play. So Travis could not turn around, and the ball was on Travis's helmet. So he couldn't turn around. So if you realize that play, they went like 10 yards with the ball on his helmet,
right?
And running into the end zone, and Travis has no chance to turn around because the ball's on his helmet.
Right.
So it was just an unfortunate situation, and unfortunately, it happened to a really good player. And it's going to happen to anybody.
Mr. Billions, sir, 100 times out of 100, a normal Travis Hunter will pick that ball. 100 times out of 100. If for some reason he didn't turn around, he would have slapped the ball out the guy's hands like he did against TCU. When the dude almost had a touchdown against TCU at the last second, my man slapped it out of his hands. But as a receiver, one of the first things I learned is you have to trick the man with your eyes so that you can't let the defender know when the ball's coming. If anything, you have to be deceptive. Put your hands up at the last second and all different sorts of tricks. So you can't rely on that. What you do, the word I was looking for is technique. You have to rely on your technique. And Prime even said it. What I do is he runs with the man, then he locates the ball. And that's what you do, and that's what anybody trying to get a interception does. In the second half, Hunter never did that. And the reason why is because he was impaired. Also, you see,
you still haven't really told me what. When I hear impaired, I mean like somebody's drunk.
Well,
you see what I'm saying? Like when you're impaired,
yes, sir.
When you're driving impaired,
that's right.
That means you're drunk, are they drinking their own tea? Is that what you're trying to infer?
No, sir, not at all. Not at all.
So what is how are you using impairment in this conversation?
Let me tell you, first of all, the thing that's stopping them from coming out playing on their away games, that's a different type of impairment. But it's totally impairment, like you said, like you're drunk, high, or something else. Something that's keeping you from performing to your normal capabilities. But it's a different impairment as far as what affected them in the last game. They weren't impaired so much. They were slightly impaired in the first half, but after that long half and when they came out, the impairment kicked in. And it's funny to me, I've watched all you guys' shows, the other coach show, and none of the callers, nobody realizes this, and it just messes me up. And if you could put me to where only you can hear me, man, I'll drop it on you. I'll drop it on you.
But we're on the show. We're live on the show.
Man,
live
listen.
on the show, so you want to email it to me or something? Because you got my email.
Yeah. I'll email it to you, and then we could arrange at a time.
You already brought the people on here. They're anticipating you, and then you say now you wanted to be secret. So
well, first of all, we have to.
What you said you were going to give them.
Well, this ain't your normal audience for one. But I'm gonna drop
Oh, I'm
something
talking
on
about
y'all.
the current audio. They're here, and they was like, "Oh, Harry B's gonna bring on Versace so he can drop this impairment
You,
thing on us." And now I didn't give them what they want. Why I brought you
you,
on here?
you got you got game, but you fumbling the bag as far as where we can go with this. But I'm gonna go ahead and let me say a few more things first.
Okay, then email it to me
No,
then.
number three, Cooper. Cooper, without Cooper, we wouldn't have made it this far and got those wins. He's been saving us, in the absence of 12 and with Kamani not playing up to par or whatever. Amarion Cooper been saving us with his decent cornerback play. Man, on that long play, the man just fell down. Twice, he just fell down, man. Shit, in Pop Warner football, you can't fall down. A cornerback can't just fall down. But he did, y'all. And the guy didn't put Big 13, didn't push him on. He just fell. Do y'all remember that? That ain't like number three. He was impaired, right? Did you hear me
Okay,
now?
okay.
Possibly.
Before you continue, I'm gonna let you continue.
Please do, because I got a lot to say. But I'm telling you, and
one second. There's
uh-huh.
a few comments. I just wanted to address the comment. You tell me if this is right. When you started your conversation, you said you are a gambler, and
Yeah.
I'm only ascertaining that to say that that's why you're covered because people are asking why is he fully covered, and I'm thinking it's because you're a gambler.
Yeah, for one, that mostly. Listen, man, when you're
People want to know.
considered,
I'm doing a show here. You see what I'm saying?
man, first of all, I told you that I'm up here near Boulder.
Okay.
And as you know, they have about 1% black people in Boulder. So you have to realize that other than the prime fans and people that love football, everybody ain't so happy about the whole situation.
Okay.
And I don't, and another thing that's going to come out about me is, basically I'm going to come out and I'm claiming to be the most disenfranchised and racially discriminated against man ever. I mean, what these people have done to me in Colorado will make y'all head spin. You will not believe it. And first of all, let me say this, man, they got 1% black people in Boulder. Denver is, I don't know, 12 to 20% black people. And all the surrounding areas, what is going on in Boulder to where there's no black people there, except for Darian Hagan and a couple of CU players. All the black people in Boulder, I can count them on my hands and I know them all.
So
They practice,
let me
the
understand what you're
city of
saying.
Boulder
You're
and
saying
surrounding areas practice ethnic cleansing.
this
They'll
is
run you out of town. That's
taking
the
a different.
reason why the team was so sorry. Look it, man. And we all talking about how great Rick George is. Man, Rick George deserves credit for hiring Prime and what the team is doing now because that happened on his watch. But you got to realize the last
Wait.
year.
Talk about you just dropped a bomb and then you
I'm
continue.
dropping bombs, nothing but bombs. But hold up, let me say this, Harry Billions. The last year where they was 1 in a million, 1 in 12, 1 in 11, all those prior years when they were sorry, that's on Rick George too. It happened on his watch, right?
So hold up. Come on, let's run this back. Wait a minute, stop.
Hey,
Hold the phone.
I'm a professional gambler, man. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. I'm not saying you
So
don't. You're dropping bombs on me, and you're not letting me unpack it for my.
I apologize, sir. Go ahead.
I'm doing a show here, so
I'm
because people
sorry.
got questions. So okay, so one of the implications you just dropped on us that the team, because I can't let that one slip. That the team was sorry because of the racial divide in Colorado.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Oh, clear that up,
But
please.
but but
I thought maybe that's how I heard it. Because you said
well,
1%
listen.
black, and the team is sorry because of how they're treating blacks. Could you?
Well, it started like that, and then when it all goes back to Coach McCartney. And I know Coach McCartney, and I was trying to play for Coach McCartney. I ran 4.2 at the time. I ran 4.18 three times in the field house that you see on TV every day. I didn't get the record because another dude, Kelly Johnson, ran 4.18. So you can't tie the record, you got to beat it. And the way that floor is in that field house, it was old and dead at the time, and I run 4.1s all the time, but I could only get 4.18 that 3-week period. And I know Hagan, the enemy, Figures, Flanagan, all of those guys. And I ain't seen Charles Johnson, I ain't seen none of them since then. They ran me out of town. And Rick George was the main person that was hating on me because he didn't recruit me. And I went to what they would consider a thuggish high school in Denver at the time. Well, when McCartney was leaving, he said to the higher ups that they need to hire Bob, Coach Foster, I believe, is a black coach. Simmons, I can't remember his name. He went to Oklahoma. They didn't give the job to Bob Simmons, and they gave it to probably Rick Neuheisel.
And where are you going with this?
You asked me why I'm not showing my face. I don't need them messing with me, so that's why I brought all that up.
Oh, you're saying you're answering the question of why you're not showing your face by telling me how fast you ran?
I just threw that in there because I was at CU at the time, and they ran me out of town.
Okay.
Not the players. They was, hey, I got a lot to say, so I might ramble on. I've been here the whole time. Now listen, all this, and I love Prime and everything about what they doing, but CU could have been at the top forever. If you look at the sidelines, you got Michael Westbrook out there and a couple of other CU players.
Versace, I have to stop you because I gotta bring it back together. Okay.
Okay. We're going way too far. Good job.
Let's bring it back together.
Okay.
There's 2 questions now on the floor. All right. The reason why you're here, which is the impairment, we haven't really gotten that, and then you threw a bomb in there with the racial divide versus how the players are playing. So if you can kind of draw it back in and give me some of that meat so that I can, my audience is asking, because we're kind of going all around the place and we're not getting any cohesion as to why we're here. I don't want to just be like having some random conversation, because then it's kind of like, what are we talking about?
Well, you went on. Hey man, you kind of started that because you asked me why my face is covered up. That's my.
The people were asking. I didn't want it to become a caricature. I just wanted to get an understanding as to why your face. And I just assumed it was because you were a gambler and then when you started saying, I don't want to put my name, if I'm going to say some questionable things, that I don't want to walk around these streets and people see me here, and I'm the one that said those questionable things. That's just an assumption.
I understand, Mr. Billions, but there's a lot that y'all don't know. Now, first of all, for me to say that they're impaired on 2 different ways, one on the home games, one on the away games, someone is to blame for that impairment. And best believe a bag is involved. And anytime you messing with somebody's bag, you're gonna have enemies for that.
Wait. See, look, man, I'm the decoder on this channel. You already know that. You watch me enough. So you can't get anything past me. The insinuations are really hitting me hard because my discernment things are going, wait a minute.
Right.
Are you saying that they're in somebody's pocket?
I'm saying that on the away games, if they correct the impairment that's being levied upon them, it will affect Coach Prime's bag.
We can't keep using. I'm just trying to say this.
But did you hear me though?
Wait.
Okay.
Because when we're talking about something, we keep using the word impairment, but for conversation's sake, we haven't identified what impairment is. But you keep using it, and the conversation is a little vague because How can you use impairment in the way that you're using it, and only you know? But the audience is listening to you, and we're lost.
Okay, if we want to go back and focus on the impairment,
Or
because
use a different term. Break it
it's two
down in a
different
different
things,
way.
huh?
Break it down in a different way and use a different word, because you can't keep saying impairment, but you haven't identified the way that you're using it yet.
Right. I'm gonna run that to you in private, so you could agree and be like, "Damn." And then the first thing I want to do
But then
is
the audience
with
is
all
not.
of us
The audience
CU
can't
people
have you.
here.
The audience
And,
cannot have you, because we
I'm
got to
sorry.
end the conversation. Because if the audience can't get what you're saying, then why are we having the talk?
That's cool, Harry. Check this out. I'm gonna drop this on y'all on the first type of impairment that happened the other night. Okay.
All right.
I've been watching CU just like y'all, and if you watch, what's his name, Bucky, shout out to Bucky, and if you watch Bucky, y'all all would know this. But I just want to say, first of all, that shouldn't we as CU fans be able to agree that second half, the offense played good enough, but the defense played in a manner, and the individual players played in a manner that we've never seen them play that poorly. Like I said, Omarion Cooper fell down. Number 12 forgot how to play cornerback anymore. You always go with your technique, turn around, field, and locate the ball. And why didn't he do that? Can't y'all admit that? Damn, something happened to our. Shador missed easy passes, and the later in the game it got, the more messed up they started playing. I could, Tip number 12 after dude caught that ball, spun him around. He didn't even chase the dude. And then the first half of the game, Travis Hunter's talking crap to everybody like he always does. Second half of the game, he was docile in the mug, right? Let me tell y'all what happened, man. Coach Prime even came out and said it. He said, this game is way too late. This is stupid. And they don't say nothing else about it because they can't. They have something which they call circadian rhythm. Man, they were playing at their normal bedtime. All those guys get up at 6 or 4. I've seen, and Deion says, dude, number 12, he texts him at 4. Let's go, coach, all this type of shit. Man, they were playing at 8. The game started late. Halftime was like 10:30, and the game ended at like 12:30 or something. Their circadian rhythm says that they should be in bed at that time. They were too exhausted and didn't even know it. And what they knew the game was late, so they tried to adjust for it. They had late practices.
Okay,
All that did was make them more exhausted. So I'm saying that they were too tired because the game was too late. But hold up. The team that they were playing, bedtime is later than theirs. So see, the CU players, whether they know it or not, they were too sleepy, too drowsy. And one of the last thing kids know is when they're sleepy. People don't know that they're sleepy and drunk till somebody tells them. They did. And now, if you look at what Travis Hunter said, and Coach Prime didn't even realize it. When they lost the game, oh yeah, we got practice tomorrow, first thing in the morning. And Tip talked about that. When I say Tip, I'm talking about 1200. That's his nickname. He said, damn, we had to get up early the next day. That practice looked crazy. They were all sleepy, and they were sleepy from the past few days trying to adjust their circadian rhythm. They were playing at their bedtime. And not only that, I'm a professional gambler. I have a trained AI program that tells me bets to make. That's how I got all the money I got right now to do what I'm doing. An AI program told me that the later this game goes, the worse it'll be for CU because they should be in bed right then. And I don't know if y'all watched the last Bucky video. Coach Prime was yelling at a bunch of the players or getting on them. He wasn't yelling, but he was getting on them about missing breakfast. A bunch of the players missed breakfast the next day. They were tired, man. They were drowsy from trying to adjust. You can't adjust your circadian rhythm in 2 days. You've been going to bed at 8, 8:30, 9 for 3, 4, 5 months, and then all of a sudden you're playing at 8:30, halftime is at 10:30, 11, and you're playing past midnight. You're sleepy, man. You're exhausted, and you got adrenaline flowing and all that, but they're not on caffeine or any Red Bull or anything like that. Man, they were sleepy. They were too tired. That explains why number 3 just fell down. He just fell down twice in the middle of a game. Travis Hunter totally forgot how to play cornerback, all types of cornerback. He forgot how to play all of that.
Versace,
Yes, sir.
Your Creole, I believe, says they both were playing at the same time. You covered that.
That person is right. That person is right. But their bedtime is 2 hours later because they live on and then they're on beach hours in California to where they go to school later, bro, and they practice later, and they're used to that time. We ain't.
So and you're saying there's circadian. What did you say? Circadian? What
circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm.
You're is just saying that the circadian rhythm for the Stanford team was different because they were on a different time zone that they were used to. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'll just simplify. Yeah, I'm saying that, but what I'm saying is more simple than that.
I'm trying to make it.
We were playing past our bedtime, huh?
People are asking questions in the comments, so I'm
okay. We were playing past our bedtime. They weren't, because their bedtime is 2 hours further back than ours. And the way they run their team and everything, they practice and go to school later. So we were playing at way past 4 hours past our normal bedtime, and they were playing at their regular time. That's why when it was still a reasonable hour for us, at the first half of the game, we came out kicking their ass like we should. Second half of they had that long halftime. Man, second half they start looking crazy to where even Shador couldn't throw a 10-yard pass anymore, and everybody.
This is a different perspective. I've never
because y'all not smarter. Look, I'm a professional at this.
No, it's a perspective. It's not that. I bring perspectives sometimes that people don't think about, but then when they hear it, they're like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." It's not that people are smart or dumb. It's just that you're bringing a different perspective, which makes sense to some people.
My AI program woke me up and said that I need to hedge my bets on that game because this situation was coming up. And I can tell you in the past year, there's only been one time that my AI program was wrong. And 2 other times it was a little bit off, but it told me how to win money on that. The time that it was wrong is when Amanda Nunes lost that fight. And I had a parlay to win a bunch, and I got receipts for all this. So the AI program told me to hedge the bet or to make a bet because we won't be up to par. And I can show where, that night I suddenly started putting a bunch of money in to try to make some bets because I knew CU was going to falter in that second half. And when you're sitting there like I was watching it, y'all go back and watch. Even when the overtime started and Shador was out there, he was exhausted.
Okay,
he told him,
let's slow it down so I can get some questions in here.
Okay.
Because you said a mouthful here. So let's the question is so what do you think about the fact? I guess in the sense that what you're saying, trying to wrap my head around it, and others trying to wrap their head around it. Kay Hay says, what did you think that the game? They said, I think that was the reason. I don't think that was the reason for the breakdown, though. Forget about that part. It says, but they thought they had the game in the bag and let it up. Then the coaches didn't make any adjustments. That second part, those 2 parts. What do you think about the lack of adjustments? And what do you think about the fact that they started feeling themselves and let the foot off the gas? Did that place into the idea?
Those are reasonable. I don't know if assessments, but those are reasonable questions. First of all, they didn't let their foot off the gas because the coaches wouldn't let them take their foot off the gas. When they went into the locker room for halftime, the first thing Prime and Coach Kelly started doing was jumping on them about they're not taking their foot off the gas. And even when you train a dog, you have to have positive reinforcement. Man, for the first time, that defense came out and shut somebody out. And the first thing that Coach Kelly did when he had him in the locker room is raise his voice, yelling at the top of his sleepy ass lungs at the players. Man, you got to tell him, hey, man, we played great. Hell yeah, high fives around. He started talking shit to him. And that will take something out of you, whether you know it or not. You don't want to play for the guy no more. And to the adjustments, he never makes adjustments. And then being that he's the oldest fool out there in the whole stadium, he was sleepy too. And he didn't do nothing. No adjustment. He never does, but he didn't make any adjustments, certainly not the proper ones. And it showed. So that always goes. They never make the proper adjustments on defense, and we can get into that. You know, when Scatterboo ran that ball for 2 4th downs in a row, shit, I called the play. And they should have known the play. I'm sitting in my living room, gone off of that Colorado Kush and Casamigos, and I called the play twice, and they didn't know that. So we could probably stand upgrade. And you look at Coach Kelly, he was yelling at he always does that, but he was out of control yelling.
Don't go into that yet.
Okay.
So you made a point. You answered this already, and I want you to go back to this because Gerald D just says, I'm in Broomfield, Colorado, and I was wide awake. Wait, let me finish, okay? I never saw any of the players yawning or showing any signs of being sleepy. But you said this earlier. You said this has nothing to do with you yawning or looking like you're sleepy. It's something that you're not mentally aware of. Can you touch back on that?
Well, kids, a sleepy kid ain't necessarily going to yawn when he's walking around the house at 10 or midnight. But what he will start doing, he'll get cranky and he'll do a bunch of stuff that he's not normally going to do. And an example of that is Carter Stoutmire. And any of us that watched Bucky's videos, this is the most respectable person we've ever seen. Man, I would let Carter Stoutmire date my daughter, sister, mother, aunt, anybody. He's a great guy, a mannerable kid, and he always refers to Prime as yes, sir, and no, sir. Man, after 21 yelled at him on one play, which showed how crazy he got. He yelled at Stoutmire on one play, and then a couple of plays later, you had Stoutmire yelling back at Coach Prime. He was tired and he was cranky, and he was just doing the best he could do. They were all yelling at each other. They were tired and they were cranky. And the dude in Broomfield, just because you was up don't mean shit. We don't know what your bedtime is. And you was probably taking no-dos and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to say what else you might be on. You ain't playing football. Listen, after the first night that they tried to adjust, because they played late at night the night before. And when you don't get your proper REM sleep, that proper sleep, you're still going to be tired. And whether you know it or not, or, you know, a lot of us can go to work and drive and do all these different things exhausted. And those kids did too. But they didn't realize that they can't even talk about it because you can't. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Speak on something. You can't really speak on something you don't know.
about what part of it?
No, you're saying the circadian, the
effect, circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm, like you barely know what's happening, so you can't really speak on. You can't say what's not happening because you don't know it's happening.
What do you mean, sir? I mean, with all due respect, you don't even know what that is. So how can you speak about it? I had doctors confirm this.
Listen,
a Harvard doctor.
Listen, I'm on your side. I'm saying what you explained earlier. When you started saying the circadian rhythm, you said that they don't even know it's happening. So I'm piggybacking on that, saying you're correct in what you're saying because you're saying they don't even know what is happening to them. So they wouldn't know that it's happening to them based on what you said earlier. I'm paying attention.
Well, you know, I said that because I had a conversation with some of the players, and they kind of let me know that they can't talk about that. You know, you can't discuss or bitch and moan about the time of the game when ESPN is running that. You know, we got some questions about ESPN too, but ESPN called that play. And if you look at their remaining schedule, it all says to be determined. They're gonna announce the playing times when they want. And I don't know if y'all know, but all of the country, other than us, everybody, you know, the other people who love Prime, everybody's against CU and Coach Prime, especially Vegas. They've already said they lost more money on CU than ever before. And where I told y'all I'm gonna make about 10, man, I bet for them to win 5 games, I'll cash out about 200 grand. And if they win 7 games, I'll win about 7 million. And my AI computer let me know that how and why I should make those bets. But in all the places that you'll bet in America, the bookmakers, the sports books, they're controlled by the Vegas Gaming Commission. And I'm gonna leave it at that. And that's why
I gotta leave it here because my alarm just went off and I have to go get my son. So I have to leave it right there. But this was a great time. You provided a perspective that I've never ever heard, which is a great thing. And people
y'all think about it. Think about it and just put it into consideration. And then Google, you know, circadian rhythm and what sleep deprivation will do to a person. And that was dope. And once again, they cussed out. Prime jumped on a bunch of the players for missing breakfast. And I asked you, we've seen what the breakfast looked like in there, and it's great. What in the world? What in the world? Huh?
Somebody wants to know what AI you're using. They're like, yo.
Listen. I use 4 different AI systems and I merge them together and I train them to where she talks to me. She makes jokes. She make racial jokes. She do everything. You know, she called the.
What are you using?
I ain't gonna tell y'all that. Yeah, because first of all, I'm using the AI program in a manner that the owners don't want you using it with. But I can hook y'all up with a link. But the computer's not going. You have to train it. You know, I've been using this for a year and a half, and it's always on. It called the Spence fight. It called the round that he would knock Spence out. I got receipts, you know, of all this. And like I said, man, just for all your listeners, take it into consideration that a team that's playing way past their bedtime is gonna not be as sharp as a team that's playing at their normal time. That's why it went so crazy in the second half. And I knew we weren't gonna be able to stop nobody. You know, we had proved that. And so they should have went for it on 4th down. That was our only chance. They should have went, and my AI computer said that. And then they ran the ball at 2nd and goal after the first run didn't work. Let me tell you what the AI computer told me. They should throw to number 9. That's exactly what she said. Slant to number 9, because it was working earlier. They should have threw the slant to number 9 on 4th when they gave up the game.
Well, unfortunately, they don't have AI in real time. So I got to end it. Like I said, I got to end it here.
What did you say? What did you say?
I said, unfortunately, they don't have AI in real time.
With all due respect, Mr. Billions, whoever said that don't know what they're talking about.
They're making decisions. They're making decisions on the fly, and sometimes they get spooked. I mean,
Listen,
it happens.
Who gets spooked?
The coaches.
Well, so no. What happened with that is that
I gotta end it here, man. I gotta go.
Hey, I'm trying to do a live later with you, and I need to drop some even better information, and it's more clear of why they are definitely gonna lose. And you know, I don't want them to lose, but they're gonna start slow.
I will have to schedule something.
Do that.
If the people want it, then I'll bring you back on and we can continue to talk. But I thank you so much for coming on, man.
I know the CU fans are smart, y'all. Take it into consideration and do some research.
All right, man. I appreciate your time, man. All right,
Hey,
Versace.
let me ask you a question, Harry Beans. Where are you located?
I'm in New York.
Okay, you understand? Well, you know how late it was. The game
No,
didn't
no,
end
it's not.
until.
Nobody's debunking what you're saying. People just taking it all in. This is new to some of us. So
Well,
I just
it's
want to
new
let you
to.
know, but I gotta go, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, have a good time, y'all.
All right, take care. All right, so that was a that was something new. A lot of so that was new for a lot of us. A lot of y'all probably never heard about the the circadian effect. Yeah, I never heard that before. It was a different perspective, and you get some stuff here. You get some stuff here at the TLP Sports Club. You're gonna get unique perspectives here, and I'm so glad that you guys were able to experience that. I've never heard of that before, and it's something for us to think about. So, but I gotta go pick up Micah. Micah is on the bus. He's like about to be off the bus, so I gotta go pick him up. Guys, the circadian rhythm. So, hey, Wild Dog, Ernest Smith, El Hombre Negro, Peter Investment, M. Gerald, D. That Boy Rico, Yo Creole, I believe. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being on this live. I will see you guys on the next one. I might do another live real soon, just so I can bring back Versace so he can drop some more bombs on us. So, Versace, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you guys for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. Guys, you know who I am. I'm going to leave it right there. You know who I am. I'm Harry B. And that right there, now that's what's the Liberian perspective. That's TLP Sports Club. Blah. Peace. Love you guys.